Yo, Connor, what's up? Welcome, everybody. It is the bit episode triangle diamond 15 exclamation point smiley face. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. Connor, how are you, my boy?
Hey, Beau, I'm doing good. How are you doing, brother?
Brother, I'm fired up. I'm heated. I'm
Yeah,
fired up today. I'm fired up. I'll tell you what. I'll
yeah.
tell you what I ain't
Tell me,
realized.
soldier boy, tell me.
Wax melts and candles go fucking hard, dude.
And you know what else goes hard? Nintendo Switch 2s and tariffs. I got some
They
things to
sure
talk
do.
about.
Yeah, we got some things we're gonna pop off about a little bit here. I'll tell you what, we can start wherever you like. However, we were having a bit of a conversation off the pod
Let's start with
about
that and we'll work our way into the other stuff. I think we should
yeah,
continue that conversation because that was some good combo.
yeah. For the homies that are now audio listeners on Spotify who have not heard the pre-stream, if you want to catch stuff that maybe does not make it into the episodes, twitch.tv/sayanite, twitch.tv/cdog underscore cdog underscore. We do kind of yap around for like maybe 40 minutes, half an hour before we actually hit the record button. So you can definitely swing through and get a little more context on some stuff. But the TLDR is that we were having a bit of a discussion about the concept of streaming and what kind of people benefit from streaming and things to like expect if you want to become a streamer and whatever. Because even though it's you might not think it, I'll be transparent. I'll talk numbers for a second. My average viewership has dropped quite a lot after switching games a bunch of times and taking a break and this and that. And it used to be, up in that like 65, 70 range concurrent. And then we hovered 30 for a long time. Now we're chilling it down like 11, 15. Um, it's just like, which is fine. A little hobby time. But you might hear that and think, oh, what an unpopular stream that no one goes to, like 11 people, that's who gives a shit. However, I think a lot of people would be really surprised to learn that's like still the top, 1-ish% of Twitch streams. The sweeping majority of people, by like a 98% margin, stream to like 0 to 1 persons on just an everyday basis. And if you're pushing that like 10, 12, 15, you're really a cut above. And then the number where it's like, these tens of thousands of people, Ludwigs and Pokemans and, those, Pokemon and Cutie Cinderella and all them, Valkyrie, those people are like single digit. It's like there's a handful of them. It's not even a relevant statistical number.
Yeah, and I think when someone's starting out, they see those numbers and go, oh, easy, I can do that. And it's not easy. You can't do that. Not starting off. No one's just going to like
Right.
be able to jump into that and think
Right.
like, oh, I got that. And it takes a while. You got to build up those. Reading chat is a skill of its own. If you're trying to play a game where it takes any amount of brain power, reading chat can be fucking diabolically tough.
Well, that's true too.
And then don't even throw in the fact that you might be dyslexic or you might have like a reading disorder where you read slower. Fuck if it's almost impossible sometimes.
Sure. Yeah. It's very, very tough. It's a game of like split attention and multitasking, and part of that conversation we were having was like, what to expect getting into streaming if you want to be a hobby streamer or like whatever it is, and like the kind of personality that maybe does well in the streaming space versus not, you know. Um, I think some people think they can just like turn on their PlayStation with no camera, no mic, and it's like, Cold Rock Tekken 8 gameplay, and then they'll just hope for the best, and that doesn't really ever do anything. Because if it's no mic, no cam, just gameplay, no interaction, you have to think, why wouldn't someone just watch a YouTube video about Tekken that they
Yeah.
can conveniently pause and rewind and stop? You know what I mean?
And then there are like some outliers where you're like, how the fuck did they get so popular, right? Because I think you're always told, at least I was told, like if you don't have a camera, you're never gonna be popular on Twitch. And that was back in like 2018, right? So it was like
Oh well, yeah, you
before the
definitely don't
big
need like hard
VTuber
need a camera
craze.
specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you had like Lyric and some other streamers who didn't have cameras and popping off completely. But that's again one of those if you don't have a camera, if you don't have other things, you have to have really good skills in other places. So like
Yeah.
build a community around being really good at a game. Like there are some gamers who their communities are based on them being good at a thing,
Well, yeah, sure. Sure, sure, sure.
right? And then there are some streamers who are based around not being good at games. There's some streamers who are based around their like just based around looking good. And then, I play games as a second thing. So it depends on
Yeah.
what your flavor of being a streamer is, because there's so many different archetypes, I guess. So many different builds as a streamer. Like, what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, true. The invisible skill tree, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You gotta invest your points in a
um,
very particular way.
and one thing I didn't say
Yeah.
earlier, you have to be really good at problem solving on the fly as a streamer. Because I don't know about you, but
Yes.
I've been the center point of like a power outage while streaming, or maybe my camera stops working during a podcast. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
things happen. And you have to be able to think on the fly and not get overwhelmed. Because I've had many times where I'm doing a subathon or a event that was probably not big for everyone else, but like big for me at the time. And then
Yeah,
something happens
sure.
where like camera's not working, keyboard's not working, something's fucking up. And to not just completely give up and go like, I'm just not going to do this. You know what I mean? You have to like have that quick thinking skill of like, how do I solve this problem now so I can get through this content? And if you don't want to do that and that frustrates you, then that goes back to the point we were talking about before the podcast of like, if you have these character um not flaws, but if you have these character points, maybe you don't want to do this because this would be actually it wouldn't be fun for you. If you're someone who wants something right away, if you're someone that has to have 1 + 1 = 2, if I put 1 hour in, I get something out of it. Sometimes you're going to stream
Right.
for 3 hours and get nothing as far as like one view in chat or um, um, no followers or anything. And that's okay. You have to continue putting in that work. And if you don't want to
Yeah,
do that,
absolutely.
if that troubles you, if you're like, oh man, Beau has 10 viewers and he's playing Genshin, I'm going to do that and I should get 10 viewers. That's not going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. Streaming
Yeah.
doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you have to have high patience too.
Oh, hella patience.
High
And
have to have high
trust
patience
me.
for the people that are gonna be in your chat for the platform issues with Twitch or YouTube, whatever you're streaming on.
Yeah.
You have to have high patience for like figuring out OBS. God bless America, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. No, it's tough sometimes.
Oh yeah. Cause like you'll think everything's chill, and then like how many times have we been working on some Twitch thing trying to figure out how to like fix XYZ, and then oh, big psych. Like
Or better
the
yet,
stream together just doesn't work.
stream together doesn't work, or you're trying to fix something and it was in front of your face the whole time and you were like overthinking
Yeah.
about it. And
Oh
you're
yeah.
like, oh, there's a slider for this. Ha 2 hours gone.
Oh
You know what I
no.
mean?
Yeah.
S- So
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's one of those things where you just have to have a not give up attitude, because if your first stream, you're assuming you have to undersell it. You have to hope for the best, expect the worst. So if you boot up stream, you have to just assume no one's going to be here, and that's okay. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. I'm playing Monster Hunter World because I enjoy Monster Hunter World, not because I'm hoping I'm going to get 1 million subs.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of where I come from with it.
No, you're so right for that too.
And then, I guess like where we left off, where we were going to continue popping back in with this conversation, was I guess the idea of what do you do with self-sabotage, where you're like, maybe you're a game reviewer, but you're like, people don't want to watch this, or maybe you're a fan of a game that's being shit on right now. Let's say you're an Overwatch fan. You want to play Overwatch on stream, but you're like, but viewership's down on Overwatch. What do I do? What do you say to those people that are like, I'm just not going to play the stuff I enjoy because it's not hyper popular right now. Like, what do you say to that?
I think it's a game of expectations, and I think that self-sabotage takes a lot of forms, where that's a very narrow piece of it, but it is a very real piece of it. Um, I would venture to say that if you are one of those persons who is, like, chasing the bag and you're like, I'm getting into streaming because it is going to be a paycheck for me, and this is, like, how I'm gonna pay bills, probably don't even get into the game at the first don't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that headspace will already lead you astray, and I think that headspace is what tends to push people in the direction of choosing a game based on, like, viewership and popularity. Um, for example, the most money I ever made on Twitch at any point in the years I've been streaming, the most money I've ever made was when I was playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, a relatively dead mobile game. You know, there were a lot of times when I went live playing that game and I was the only person playing that game on all of Twitch. I was the one guy in the directory. You know what I mean? You can't get deader than that. Uh and conversely, I think a lot of people will be like, "Oh, like back in the day especially, like League of Legends is popular. I'll do that." But then because there's such a saturation of individuals playing League of
Yeah.
Legends, 99.99% of the 40,000 people streaming League have one or no viewers, and no one's going to sift through the list that is in terms of like it's like either recommended for you or by viewership, however you sort it. They're not going to find you, bro. Like, I hate to
Yeah.
tell you, little bro, is you're buried. You're in the ocean. You're a water droplet trying to show off in the ocean.
And you know what? I think it's funny too because I used to feel the same way about WoW. Um,
Yeah.
and recently I have found a a niche in WoW that I've been connecting with more WoW creators, and I've been finding myself a little hole in the WoW community of people who like doing the same content I do and like watching the same content I like doing. So back in the day, I would have told you I can't be a WoW streamer. And I'm not a WoW streamer, I'm a variety streamer, but I'm not going to play WoW on stream because it doesn't do well. And when you have that mentality of I can't do this because it doesn't do well, then you have to look deep inside and go, am I just not selling it to people and making it seem fun? And I'm not going to say that all of my views are from the For You page or whatever. Obviously not. But I've had a lot of randoms come in and drop follows and stay for longer periods of time, with more interaction, but two, selling and making titles that like show what I'm doing to the viewer who might be scrolling the list of people playing, and making titles that either make people laugh or like asking a question that's crazy, and then they want to come because they see it and they're like, well, I can't just scroll past this, I have to come in and like respond to this question.
Yeah,
So
sure.
like
It does
it's the
happen
way
sometimes, yeah.
it's the way you sell stuff that make people want to come in too. So it's not just like, oh, WoW's bad, L wow, because I can't get viewers with it. Sometimes it might be you. Sometimes it could just be,
True.
sometimes you could be letting yourself down. And that's kind of funny to even think about and think about. I like that.
True. You're so right.
Deja vu.
But you're so
Deja
right though.
vu.
But you're so right though.
Yeah, sometimes it's about interacting with the potential viewer, not like keeping the status pro quo sometimes.
Yeah. And you do have, I want to say, like, on average, probably an 8-second window of someone clicking on your stream and seeing your content to like hold their interest, or they will just click off and go click something else.
Yeah.
Be it a new tab or a new streamer, or like they'll go to YouTube or whatever it is. It is the case that if you're not doing something not necessarily entertaining, you don't have to be in the middle of a hilarious moment every second. That's impossible. But if you're
Yeah.
not at least like talking or engaging in some way, 99% of people that like see you will be like, "Oh, okay, never mind." And those bounce out and
Yeah.
that's it. So you got to be at least like given something to listen to, Like you got, and that's such a hard skill, you know,
Yeah.
of being able to like just talk, just talk.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
it's tough.
that's one of the things I struggle with the most actually is self-talk, talking to myself and like creating you have to be able to talk to yourself essentially, to create conversations with yourself. And it's yeah, I like to compare it to like the Food Network and how chefs, they're not necessarily explaining the recipe to you, they're explaining how something tastes, how it feels, the texture of it. They are talking to
Right.
themselves essentially, and
Yeah.
you have to,
That's
as
right.
a gamer, do that to you. And when I started streaming, you might really, might not, my conversation with when I started streaming was, oh fuck this guy, fuck that guy. I wasn't necessarily saying like, oh, and I'm doing this and this happens because of this, and guys, look what just happened, this happened. And I'm not
Oh, well, yeah.
like, the conversation I was trying to have was just like not really conversation, it was just like a blurb of like, oh fuck that guy for doing this. But I'm not explaining what this
Right.
is. I'm not actually explaining anything. I'm not talking at all. I'm just like, I don't even know what to
Yeah.
call that, but it's not a conversation
No,
with
of course not.
myself. It's just like little small blurbs. And then when people see that, they're like, that's not interesting. Because I could have said that. I could have seen that. But
Yeah,
if
those little like
someone,
reaction nuggets.
yeah, if someone's not a hunter player and they come in my stream and I have on my tag, I'm a hunter main, they probably want me to be talking about hunter or why
Yeah.
I did this or, oh, I just fucked up and this is why. Because it's funny. Because then once they get on the level of, oh, he just disengaged into this thing, he did a skill that he wasn't supposed to do and it happened, this is why he's dead, it's funny, it's interacting with the stream, not just like, oh damn, I'm dead. Well, okay, well, you gave me
Yeah.
nothing to like want to hold on to your stream and hold on to you as a streamer. And I think that's kind of another thing, people don't really try to be better, they're just like, I'm just going to be me. And the whole thing about streaming is it's a skill. So you have to be trying to be better at something and bettering your
Yes.
skill to then want to see the change in viewership. Or else if you're not getting better, you're just not going to see that change. At least not as fast as you want.
Yeah. I think a lot of it too comes from, I don't know if this is gonna like track for everyone or make sense, but I remember a long time ago, many years ago, I think it was TBS, I could be wrong. They put on this like a TV special that was, it was called Talking Funny. And it was just four of the world's best comedians at the time, sitting in a room and just talking about comedy. It was Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., and I can picture his face, Ricky Gervais. And these
I love
four,
Ricky Gervais. Sorry.
he's very funny.
Very funny.
And they were just like talking about comedy and their like views on comedy and like how they approach stuff and like what, like, hey, how long did it take you to get funny? And like, hey, you know, were you always successful? And you know, what makes a good joke or whatever it is. It's just like a 45-minute um like them shooting the shit or whatever about comedy. And I remember so distinctly that Louis C.K. made a point about Chris Rock that if you are not doing well in comedy, it is almost assuredly because the premise of the joke isn't connecting with people. And if you explain the premise well enough, most bits will be something someone can laugh at. And the example he gave was how when Chris Rock is telling a joke, he will repeat the premise infinitely. He will just keep repeating the premise of like, in the special, it was like, um, he was like doing an impression of Chris Rock, who I almost am saying Kid Rock over and over, and that's a totally different guy, but
Yes.
totally different guy. Although, could you imagine if Kid Rock started doing Chris Rock stand-up sets? That would be crazy.
In a different world,
But
yeah. In a different world, my smartphone, that's a possibility, yeah.
God, if only. Talk about a good use of AI. That's one of them. Please,
That's
God.
funny.
Yeah, like, you know those AI videos on YouTube of, like, the presidents playing Call of Duty or whatever?
Oh my god, that shit is so funny. Bill, what are you doing? Why'd you headshot me? We're on the same team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. If there was one of those, but it was just
Yeah.
Kid Rock doing Chris Rock stand up, God, that'd be so tight. But I
The best
digress. I
bullets,
digress.
the only bullets. The
Yeah,
best
yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, the point he was trying to introduce was that he was doing an impression of Chris Rock, and he was like, you the premise in the hypothetical was that women can't go down in lifestyle. That was the basis of the bit. And his
Okay.
impression was women can't go down in lifestyle. They can't. They can't do it. They can't go down in women can't go down. And you keep hammering that premise. You just keep repeating,
Yeah.
maybe not verbatim the words, but even in Chris Rock's example, like sometimes it is verbatim, but you just have to keep laying the foundation of your premise as you go, because you don't know that everyone hearing you was on board for when you built that foundation 5 minutes ago. Someone might just like be like having like a Vietnam flashback or whatever it is, they're like tuned out, and then when they snap back to reality, or in our instance like tab into your stream, um they might be hearing the middle of a thing. You got to really lay that foundation routinely, regularly, all the time. Otherwise, people are not going to be on the train with you. They're not
Yeah, not
riding that wave.
only Chris Rock, but also like Dave Chappelle will do the same thing. They'll start with the punchline and then they'll go back and tell stories, small little snippets of the point. So females can't go down lifestyle. And then there's three stories that seem like they're not even connected, but then bam, like I said, females
Yeah.
can't go down in lifestyle. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, okay. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was the
They're
one?
laying that foundation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know enough Chris Rock to like give you an actual bit, but I
Yeah.
understand.
Well,
Yeah.
what was that? What was that Chappelle stand-up set from? I want to say like maybe 6 years ago, or it was like the three stories of meeting OJ, and it was like one bit for the whole special, but at three different points. And
Oh
like,
wow. I
I
don't.
obviously you can say whatever you like about Dave Chappelle. I know he's
Sure.
but just like talking about like the construction of the way he builds the art form. What a fucking masterclass of how to tell comedy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, not necessarily the subject matter that he's speaking on literally. That's whatever. That's a different conversation. But like, just like, if you were going to look at him as like a Lego instruction booklet,
Mhm.
he is not one of those 20-piece sets where you build it for like, you hand it to a 3-year-old and they figure it out. He's like one of those big ones you ask your mom to do when you're 7.
It's
Like,
funny that you bring up an instruction booklet because this also might be something for later.
it might be something for
It might
later.
be something for later.
You like that? Excellent,
Not
Zoom. Audio
live.
listeners? Audio
Not
listeners?
live.
Oh, it's live. Audio listeners, our boy has a camera with gesture zoom and keeps accidentally gesturing, and it keeps accidentally zooming, and it's the best thing I've ever seen.
We're working.
Midpoint, homie is just like staring down the barrel.
I guess for
Just
audio
eyes in his
listeners,
face. Uh-huh.
last podcast. So we're recording this on a Friday. Last Friday from this episode. So episode 8, my camera died mid podcast or a little bit after in the after show. My camera died completely, and I got a new camera. And this camera's great. Gesture zoom though, catching me in 4K. It's catching me in 4K, and I'm trying my best.
Yeah, it's doing diabolical work out here, that camera.
It is. It's working though. Hashtag it works, and that's all that matters.
I have some pretty deep cut stream origins, like that you don't even know about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like we always say famously that we started streaming about the same time, and that's kind of not true.
Oh, really?
Because I started streaming capital STM and around the same time as you. But what you might not know, the first game I ever streamed, because I think if I asked you, I know what you would say.
Okay.
I think you would say that my first game was Subnautica, and that's the days when we first met, was like in that first couple of like first week of Subnautica for me in like 2018.
Yes, I found you in. I think I wanted to find. I was just like, okay, I don't really know anyone. I want to like branch out, kind of what you did with the streamer the other night, where you just let's just make a new friend. It's kind of like what
Right.
I was doing that night.
Yep.
And I wasn't playing. I think I was playing like Borderlands 2 that day. I wasn't even playing Subnautica. It wasn't even. It
Sure.
was a random pickup, and I think I was just like, I like Dragon Ball, so I put Dragon Ball in the search, and
That's
Saiyajin
so
came up.
funny. That's
Yeah,
really funny.
yeah. And so I was like, fuck it. He's live right now. He's playing Subnautica. I think Subnautica's chill. Let's fucking go. Like, let's just raid into him. And that was the meeting.
Canon event. Adorable.
Yeah.
But if you can believe it, the
Hmm.
genesis of my streaming adventure was actually in 2013.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, but I was requested by my friends Lincoln and Brian to stream for them. I was going to call it The Wolf of Wall Street, which is a movie, and that's not the game. It's like a Telltale game where you play a werewolf sheriff guy, and there's like other like fairy tale motherfuckers around.
A werewolf
I think it's
sheriff
called
guy.
like The Wolf Within or The Wolf Among Us or like The Wolf
The Wolf
something.
Among Us sounds like a game that I've heard of.
Yeah, it's something like that anyway.
Sure.
But it's like a Telltale like decisions game. Like the Telltale like the Borderlands Telltale game and like it's
Yeah, it's like
Walking Dead one.
the pre Telltale game.
Yeah,
Games
yeah, it was I
like
think it
one
was
of
their
those.
first or one of their first ones. I believe the studio went out of business now, right? Telltale's Gonzo? Question mark.
They either went out of business or they got bought up by somebody and shut down. But yeah, like not around anymore,
Yeah,
I imagine.
right. But
Sure.
yeah, I think it was their first game or one of their first games. I think it's called I think it might be called The Wolf Within. Question mark. I actually am not sure. But that was the first game I ever streamed, like 2013 or 2015, I forget. Several like many years before I actually decided to be like streamer guy.
Looks like Wolf Among Us,
Wolf Among Us. Okay, cool. Cool, cool,
a
cool.
Telltale game.
Yes. Yeah, and you play like a sheriff who is a werewolf, like the
He
big bad
looks like a
wolf.
werewolf sheriff.
Yeah, shaggy brown hair.
Yes. Kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Sam hair from um
Lord of the
um
Rings?
no, actually Supernatural. He's got that Sam Supernatural
Oh, yeah.
divide, the M.
Yeah.
He's got that
The
Magneto
M.
hair.
Yeah, he's got that
Yeah.
Majin hair for sure. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
100%.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and I was just like, I turned on the thing. I had the mic, but I didn't have a camera, and we were just like vibing it out, like chopping up some The Wolf Among Us in like 2015 or 13 or whatever it was.
And
And then
I
I
have some
stopped streaming for like
lore. Oh,
3 years.
okay.
Lamau.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Imagine.
I kind of also, I just actually talked to you about it at movie night the other night. I didn't start streaming back then. However, 2015, which I probably around the same age you were in 13. So I was on my come up on a couple years after you. And I was doing a podcast for a fan community
Oh, that's
of
cute.
a game series called Dot Hack.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was funny. This game community came up because a group of friends had a programming final. In their programming final, they recreated in I think the Eclipse engine, which was like a big sprite based engine back in the day, a recreation of the world from Dot Hack in 2D.
Wow.
And they coded like the gate keywords and stuff and put maps all over the
Hey,
place.
pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah, it had like we had the around at its like biggest, I think 5,000 users, and I did a podcast for them.
Hey,
I did a
5,000 users
fan.
is like that's a lot for an indie game. That's good.
Yeah, it pre-indie. It wasn't even. I wouldn't even say indie game. It was like just a final, and then they loved it so much they just
Yeah,
created
little project.
a forum board for it back when forums were popular, and then
For sure.
they got in trouble by the company that made the game because they used the company's name in the forum name
Oh
of their thing.
no.
Yeah, it was a big thing, and they just changed a couple words around. They were able to keep the game going, and it was a fun thing. I joined that community in 2014. started doing a podcast because I was really interested in that, and had a web design teacher who was like, have you guys heard about this thing called podcast? And I was like, oh, that sounds so tight. Like, that sounds amazing. So, like,
Uh,
me with a couple other community members from the community would go on Skype. We would all use Audacity.
that's so funny. Audio listeners, he did the gesture. The camera is zooming. The camera is zooming.
We would all record. So how it would happen, we would all start up Audacity, and I would hit one of these big claps, and then it would all sync up all the audio. So then after the episode, everyone would send their stuff to me, and then I would clip it all together. I'd do some editing, blah, 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 hit it. And all of this was while my mom was not aware of anything I was doing.
That's so
And
funny.
it was just like, it was a thing that I did in secret that I thought was really cool. And it was a thing that kept me busy. And we did like, I don't know, 50 episodes of it. We did a
Oh wow.
bunch. Yeah. It was a huge thing. I want to continue going on about it, but we had a big event where we interviewed the creator, the leader of the community. Um,
Aw.
and it was this huge event. We had like thousands of downloads. Actually, it was fucking insane. Because then, too, you don't understand. Back in the day, there were maybe like 60. I don't know. There are a bunch of other forums dedicated to .hack as well. We were the only
Sure.
one with a game. So you can understand
Oh.
that other communities were looking at us, going like, "Yo, that's so sick." And then,
Wait, that is so
like,
sick though.
yeah, it was kind of fucking insane. And then other communities hated us because we had the game and they didn't. And they were like, fuck those guys. They're blah, blah, blah. You know, it was like this big war going on sometimes where like it was crazy. Anyway, I have some of the old episodes and it's fucking hilarious listening back to myself, 15-year-old me, thinking I'm some big shot, big guy out here. Like,
That's so
welcome
cute.
to the, yeah, it was fucking hilarious. But anyway, yeah, like our origins are kind of started before streaming on on Twitch, but we were still doing stuff kind of connected, right? You were streaming and then I was doing podcast
Yeah.
stuff, and here
Yeah,
we are on a
content
podcast on
creation.
a streaming platform. Hey, let's go.
True. The full circle.
Yeah,
Love that.
so it's kind of some origin lore for the homies who wouldn't really know
Yeah, how would they?
otherwise.
How would
Yeah.
they know? Not like there's any VODs from, 12 years ago.
No, like I think I have like 20 episodes, and actually, funny enough, I have the episode where I skipped school that day to play the opening day, the midnight release of World of Warcraft, the Wrath of the Lich King, and that was
Oh, wow.
like a big turning point for WoW, like a huge expansion. So I have that like little piece of history for myself recorded on my hard drive, and
That's
that's
kinda
kind of
tight.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of sick, actually. I like
because
that.
how many people can be like, yeah, I skipped school to do this, and everyone's like, sure, yeah, whatever. I have audio proof that I skipped school and did that shit. Let's go. You know.
Big. You ever think about how we're basically just living the same life as like people in the 70s with like slideshows and home movies? We're doing
But
the
with like
same thing.
other content, yeah, kind of,
Yeah.
for sure.
We're like, guys want to come over and see slides of our trip from Aruba? And be like, I guess.
Yeah.
and then it's like, hey, you want to see the recording of when I was like 15 and skipped school to do the expansion in WoW? And some people would be like,
I
sure,
guess, fuck.
sure. But
Yeah.
like, it is like such a cool and cute thing to have. I love that for you.
Well, then I have the band stuff too, where it's like, you want to listen to this demo of this thing we did, and people are like, not really, bro. Like, can we just not do this?
Oh no.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, we're kind of killing it. Look at us. We're so sick for that.
Yeah, and I think that like calls to the creative nature of people who want to stream. Like, you have that drive and that fire to just want to do something. I just want to go live and do something different. Sometimes I want something to break because I'm like, fuck it, things are too good right now.
Bro,
Throw me
I
an
have
issue.
literally Dog, I have literally had like Britney moments where I've just like done the equivalent of the shaved head. Like there are times, like maybe like 4 separate instances across the many years I've been streaming, where I've just like looked at my OBS, I've opened it like 20 minutes before stream, and I'm like, I'm canceling today. Fuck this. I'll just delete it all. Like whatever. I'll rebuild it. I could do better. This is bullshit. Like
I'm the
this.
same way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
sometimes I'll even do the Russian roulette. Fuck it, I'll update OBS 5 minutes before stream. Let's see
I
what
did that
happens.
this week. I did
It's
that
like, fuck
literally
it,
on
let's
Wednesday.
go.
I had an OBS update thing. I was like, I go live in 4 minutes. Yeah, all right.
Why not?
Let's see what happens.
What's the worst that could happen? Everything falls out, everything's shitting itself. You're like,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
like, well, if it's shit, I'll fix it. And also get a night off. Whatever, YOLO. That's fine.
Notoriously, I did the Windows update before stream once, and it blue screened in the middle of the update. So I had to do it. Went from just a Windows update to a whole fucking reinstall, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, no, it's good. It does happen.
We're living on dangerous land, dangerous times. Goodness gracious. But speaking of people that are killing it and also living dangerously,
Yeah.
you had some things you want to talk about regarding a bit of a Switch 2 Direct, eh?
Yeah, I had some props and slops. If anyone doesn't know, the boy Beau coined a term for like the goods and bads of something, and he calls it the props and slops.
It's a
So
good name, though.
I watched before he went live the other day and watched the Nintendo Direct on stream. I also watched it beforehand because I knew I wanted to talk about it on stream because he's like a Nintendo girly. I'm kind of
I
like,
am.
I like some things. I'm not like a super fan, but I like some things. And I had some notes of the Direct, and here are my notes. Do you want me to just to go down the list and then you can like take it in as I go, or do you want to go point for point?
Let's do a point for point. Let's do a point for point.
Sure. So opening shot. The leaders of the Nintendo Switch 2 project, none of their clothes fit. Kind of fucking hilarious.
Not only did none of their clothes fit, one of the dude's like jacket was so big
The
that
dude on
his
the
little
left.
his like dainty little hands he looked like a little kid who was wearing his dad's clothes. It
He
was
looked
actually
like
kind of precious. I liked it.
he looked like a kid that was dressed for a wedding and they didn't have clothes that fit him, so they're like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna put your older brother's jacket on you."
Yeah, it was kind of cute. I liked it.
It was kind of cute. So that was like a funny one.
It was endearing.
And so yeah, so then the next thing would be the chat button. I think it's a cool addition, but I think it's going to be diabolical when it's locked behind a paywall and then you hit it and they go, "You must now pay this money to use this product." That's kind of crazy to have a built-in pay me button because that's what it's going to turn into. And I think that's kind of dumb to have that built into everything because not if you remember, it's not only built into the Joy-Con. I don't know if it's built into both. I think it's only one, but it's also going to be built in to
right
the Pro controller.
Yeah.
And I believe they said it was going to be built into the GameCube controller that they're re-releasing. I don't know if they said so. So every product, and this is what I don't know, and they haven't said this, and I think they're keeping their lips tied. I don't know, will the old Pro controllers be able to be backwards compatible with the new Switch? I'm hoping so. Not that I would imagine the chat button, but if it's not, that's kind of diabolical, in my opinion.
Well, I forget.
A little bit.
Wii nunchucks, did the Wii remote and nunchuck work for the Wii U?
I don't think so, but I know that the Switch had a Nintendo GameCube controller edition thing where you could use it to then plug in the controllers.
Yes.
So I feel like it should
Which
be
is
backwards
not as
compatible.
The Flash one, to be clear, but that's fine.
Yeah. So that's kind of diabolical. I'm not a fan of having a store button built into the controller. It's kind of, and they did say, you know, to their point, it's going to be free for the first year, but then after that, it becomes a built-in pay us please button. So yeah, it just feels a little weird.
I'll tell you what, I'm super okay with it, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. When the N64 came out, I had no expectation of the idea that my Super Nintendo controller might work on it. You know what I
Well, I
mean?
don't care about the control. So I'm. Those are just other supplementary points. My big point is button. That's a pay button. Like just the chat button in general. The idea of it only functions as a paid product
Mm.
bothers me a little bit. Unless they go back on it and they say, hey, we know that we said it was going to be paid after a year, but we listened to your feedback and we understand that like we're kind of nickel and diming you about this thing. We're going to go ahead and just add it as like a free thing. That would be okay for me, but I don't like the idea of it being free for a while and then them being like, okay, it's a pay button now. Kind of
Um. Hmm.
feels weird to have microtransactions built into to my controller.
No, a subscription service isn't a microtransaction. Hold
I know
on.
I'm joking, but it
Oh
just
God!
feels weird for a
Imagine.
subscription. Well, I mean, it kind of is. It ends up being a little microtransaction of being like, here's your subscription button. How many kids are going to accidentally click it? Obviously, there's going to be parental control, so they can't click it and then just they have a sub rolling now. But
Well,
it's
even
just
if they did, you have
a
to enter the
sub button.
information after and stuff.
Yeah, a sub button on the controller, kind of wonky for me. I like the idea. Don't get me wrong. The chat function looks good, other than the 7 FPS share screen feature. Idea is cool. Didn't look very good, at
Can
least
I
in the
be
video
so
they
for
sent.
real?
Sure.
I think it looks pretty bad. Like as a
Really?
system.
Okay. Really, for real, the little like it kind of looks like a little Discord. It looks like they
It
took
does
a
look
lot
like a little
of,
Discord.
which is
It
cool.
lo-
I think Nintendo Discord's fine. I just think Nintendo being the company trying to do it means it's going to be bad
I
because
think
they're
it's kind
bad
of
at online stuff.
I think it has to be bad inherently, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, hit me.
Those microphones that they were showing in the direct
Are going to be terrible. 100%.
are going to be terrible and
Yeah.
20 feet from you.
Well, so
Everyone is going to sound like absolute shit.
the Pro controller has I did see this. It has like a
Little audio
jack on it.
jack.
So
Yeah.
I'm imagining it would be like the I think PlayStation controllers, how they have the audio jacks.
Yeah.
And you might be able to
Yes.
hook up like a pair of headphones, which headphone mic quality is garbage, but it might be a step up from that garbage.
I feel like I accidentally manifested this by saying, ugh, give me Xbox 360 live parties. And they were like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. We should do that. And they did just make Xbox 360 live parties. But I don't know if you remember Xbox
Yeah.
Live for the 360.
This actually
The
might be
audio
better than
quality
live
was real
parties.
shit.
Yeah.
Like the audio quality was not the selling point of that experience.
And I guess I should be saying this. I didn't say whether this was a prop or a slop. This one is kind of both. And the leaders not having clothes that fit was definitely a prop because it was funny.
Yeah, that was a prop. I did like
So,
that.
so to be clear, because I said props and slots, I
Yeah.
didn't actually label anything. So
Right.
that was
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like, kind of a half prop, half slop. Because I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna be able to do this the way it should be done correctly, because it's Nintendo. And then also too, I think it's really weird to have like a subscription button built into every product you're releasing. It feels weird to me. Now, this is going to be a prop and a slop as well, the Joy-Cons. Now, I was talking to you off stream and I was like, hey, I'm concerned about a couple things.
I have exactly one concern. Precisely one concern. And I think it's not the concern you have, but I'm interested.
Okay. I'm going to say my concerns and maybe they intertwine with what your concern is. I have two concerns. One being that they're using magnets this time around. Now, magnets don't lose quality over time, but they get weaker over time. If it's certain magnets, right, can either break or like get weaker, right?
Isn't that losing
So,
quality? Wait, what do you mean?
well, magnetism. So if they're being held together by magnets,
No,
will
you said they didn't lose quality, but do lose magnetism. Is
they
that not the
do
same
lose
thing?
quality. I meant to say they will lose quality over time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
I worry that the magnets won't be strong enough to hold them in place for a long period of time after a certain point, and we'll see some Joy-Cons start breaking, or certain parts breaking off of the Joy-Con. So let's say the magnet, if it's not built right, will like hang on to hang on to the switch, and then you'll pull the Joy-Con off, and you're like, oh, my magnet's gone. I kind of worry
Oh,
about
no,
metal on
so
plastic.
no, so okay, so the actual body of the Nintendo Switch has the magnets in it.
Sure. Oh, so
And
so
then
the Joy,
and they have
well,
a
the
metal
Joy-Con has to
housing.
have. Sure. Okay.
And then the Joy-Con has no magnets in it. It has the
Because
steel buttons, and the steel buttons slap
so I
onto the
guess
magnet.
whenever I was watching, I assumed that when they talked about the plates, I assumed those were magnet plates on the Joy-Con.
No, 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 no. So the SL and SR buttons,
Sure.
like if you look
Are
inside
they
a Joy-Con,
metal? Is
has
what you're
those.
saying then?
Yeah, they're steel,
Okay.
and those get magnetized. Well, they don't. They're not magnetic, but they
Sure.
get
Sure.
like
Sure.
held on to the um the magnets that are inside a metal housing inside the sides of the Switch too.
So I guess that doesn't change my worry about it. Just it's now flipped that I worry that the Joy-Con will that strip.
That audio listeners, the gesture for that strip was very similar to the gesture for zoom in camera, please. And the camera was like,
Hi.
"Yes, sir."
It's gonna be a learning experience for us all. I think it's just a learning experience. So that's one worry I have. And
Uh
if
huh.
you've seen pictures of the Switch without the Joy Cons, you'll see that there's a PCB that hangs out of the
Yeah.
Joy-Con
Yes.
docking station. Not docking station, but
The
where the
little
Joy
docking
Cons dock
slot.
with the docking slot on the
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah.
There are going to be a lot of what I fear is inquiries into Nintendo about those breaking. I worry about that a
Probably
lot.
yes.
Anything
Probably
that
yes.
is a PCB that hangs off of a thing to dock another thing onto it, I worry that is, out of all the tooling they've done, that is the worst one. I saw that and instantly went, that's going to be a problem. There's going to be a
Yes.
kid that like wants to yank a fucking Joy-Con off, and they're going to yank at a weird angle, and that thing's coming with it. I can only
Well,
imagine.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's
That's what
the
I
thing
worry
about
about.
me. So I don't know if you know this about current Joy Cons, modern Joy Cons, the ones
They're
that
on like a
exist
rail.
currently. They're
It's
on
like
a
a rail
rail,
system.
and there's like a little clicky piece that holds them like towards the top.
Sure.
And to detach them, there's like a button you have to press in,
Hmm.
and it like retracts that little clicky piece, and then they can slide out safely.
Yeah.
Um, and frequently what happens is that a child doesn't know to hit the button, and they just yank real hard and break
Yeah.
that plastic piece, and then
Sure.
your Joy-Cons won't stay on your Switch, and they'll disconnect constantly.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
worry because now this is like a PCB and not just like a rail. So like if you yank the
Yes.
rail off, you're not breaking the system, but this is like a PCB that might be attached to another piece of technology in
Right.
the unit. And
Yeah.
so when you pull that PCB, if you're a kid and you're like, I'm not gonna touch the button, I'm pulling this shit off myself. If you Hercules that shit off, what are you breaking within that system? Because that PCB
Yeah.
is connected to something.
Yes.
And
I
I
there's like a
worry
little
for that.
switch on the back that like does something to like mechanically disengage the
Yeah.
magnetic connection. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't interrupt the magnet. You can turn a magnet off.
Sure.
It's not an
Yeah.
electromagnet. It's just like a rare earth magnet, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, like some wedge thing that pulls it off or whatever it happens to be,
Yeah.
I'm certain people will not hit that button frequently. They'll just
Or the,
yank and it'll break a thing for
I
sure.
worry that you'll think you're hitting the button and then you'll yank off and then you've now realized you didn't hit the button as hard as you should have or something. I kind of worry about that too.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't have it in our hands, so we can't tell. But um from the pictures I've seen, looks diabolical. Like there's gonna be some problems. So that's kind of like a prop and a slop. I like the new design. I'm worried about what that new design is going to bring as far as like damage goes. Because I
I'll
could
mm,
assume that rail is going to be damaged. That rail being the PCB hanging off of the fucking unit itself. So that's one prop and slop. Now, was that the same worry that you had with the Joy Cons? Or do you have a whole nother worry?
totally other thing.
Oh, okay.
Radically other thing.
Sure.
Between you and me, I kinda hope they break left and right. I think that'd be really funny. And
Well,
if you're the kind
yeah.
of parent who's giving your, like, 7-year-old a bunch of, like, this expensive ass piece of technology and they break it, you should probably teach your kids to be fucking not so goofy.
I'm worried
Like,
about
that's not
adults
really
too. I'm worried about adults more than I am kids, if you can
if
imagine, because
adults
adults are hyper
break it
stupid too.
bro, if adults break it, I'm glad they lit $500 on fire. You deserve it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you're a grown-ass adult and you don't hit the disengage button when you rip off your Joy-Cons, I hope they shatter and turn to dust. I hope Thanos snaps them away himself. That's crazy. But, no, my concern is that they were very specific in talking about, like, technical details of this frame rate, this resolution, the screen can go up to this FPS. Um, but what they didn't mention was whether or not the sticks inside the Joy-Cons are Hall effect sticks. I don't know if
I
you're
see.
familiar.
Yeah.
Modern sticks as they exist now in most Joy-Cons, because I think probably no one has had a Joy-Con and then not had stick drift. And stick drift is triggered by a couple of things. The simplest solution, the really easy fix thing that causes stick drift, is that the connection just gets a little loose and wiggly, and then it like fucks up. So if you open up your Joy Cons and put like a shim in there to like tighten up that little stick box, um, that drift goes away forever, and it's a very easy fix. You just like, wedge some paper in there or like a piece of plastic, whatever it is, and your stick drift is gone forever if that's what caused it. It's all good. The second thing that will cause stick drift is the inside, basically an analog stick is like a potentiometer inside a little plastic housing, and it has like a stick at the top on a swivel. And that stick has a larger plastic bit that kind of fits on it, like a male to female connection, and the thing that fits on it is the part you actually put your thumb on. That's like the actual stick part. But if you take that off and look inside, it is just like a rod on a ball in a box. And the rod on a ball in a box is made of typically pretty cheap plastic. And the more you wiggle it around over the course of normal play, the more you grind away that plastic. And when you grind that plastic away, your stick doesn't sit where it's supposed to sit anymore. It'll like fall to the side or whatever. So you're always registering walking to the left. Audio listeners, homie is doing his best crab pinch impression. He is going crazy crab rave style, seeing if the gesture works for his camera zoom.
I turned it off
That's so funny.
for now.
But homie's just pinching the air over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you grind away that plastic by just like normal use, it fucks up how your stick sits. And that's why you get drift. And that you have to just replace the whole stick. You have to like take the like stick piece out of your Joy-Con and throw it away and put in a new one. Or buy a new Joy-Con, whichever. But Hall effect sticks have magnetic boxes and they work with magnets and they'll never drift. They can't drift. It's like impossible for them to drift. So, given the nature of how every human being on Earth hates stick drift and how every Joy-Con on Earth has stick drifted, I would really hope they've learned their lesson and they're using Hall effect sticks. However, you would think that'd be a selling point, and they did not mention it, which kind of tells me that they are not Hall effect sticks, which means we should just buckle up for stick drift, baby. And that's frustrating. That's a bit of a concern for you, boy.
So there have been some leaks.
Uh-huh.
Now these are leaks that are unconfirmed leaks.
Well,
But at least one leak seems to be from a semi-trusted Switch, not Switch, but like Nintendo leaker or whatever. You know what I mean?
sure.
It seems to be maybe they might have Hall effect sticks.
Oh god, that would be
Maybe
incredible.
that
That'd be
is
really tight.
still uncertain, but we might have. We should have a definitive answer soon, I would imagine.
I pray that happens.
Yeah. I would
'Cause
imagine they
that's
have
my big
to
thing.
when they do pre-orders, they would have to disclose that like specs, right? I would imagine they have to like there's like a
Maybe?
spec sheet, maybe, hopefully, who knows. I would hope that there are some Hall effect sticks in there because stick drift is bad. If no one's played like a handheld game or like a Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, stick drift can make it, if it's bad enough, unplayable to play any game you want to try to play.
Literally unplayable, yes.
It's
Like, you
just like
can't
I might
control
as
your
well
character bad.
go watch Netflix because it's not working.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the minor scenarios, it's not so bad, who gives a shit kinda whatever.
Mm,
And the lazy workaround from developers and hardware engineers for this, the really lazy version, is that your stick have you ever been playing the game and you move the stick on your controller a little bit and it, like, doesn't register? You have to
yeah.
move it kind of a lot for your character to do shit.
Hmm.
So, that's called dead zone, and
Yep.
it's programmed in so that the lever that you are moving with the analog stick has to be X, percent moved from neutral to count.
Yeah.
So they'll account for a little bit of stick drift by having that dead zone be very large so that you don't get finer nuanced control of your character because they're like, well, this shit's going to break a little bit. Let's have that like really tight close in movement not fucking count Lamau. Uh and that's why sometimes when you're playing a game it's very hard to do the slow walk. You can only do like sprint cuz
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah, as opposed to like I don't know if you've noticed like back on the N64 those sticks did not really have dead zone going on. Uh
No, not that I remember. It was very
yeah,
much. Oh, and the N64 stick too. It was very much
that was a very
because
unique stick.
it was a very unique stick because like you look at a Xbox or PlayStation stick, it's very much has that fat core,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then Nintendo stick very. If you
very
anyone
thin,
remembers
very pencil
the
guy.
GameCube or not GameCube 64, very thin, very much very because it had also I think it worked on like a ball, right? A ball
It
joint
did.
at the
It did.
bottom. So you had very controlled movement if you wanted in any direction essentially because you could go
Yeah.
with that ball joint.
Unfortunately, and it had a notched controller. The
Yeah,
cardinal directions and each of the perfect diagonals had like a
notch. Yeah.
notch, so you were guaranteed to always stick the exact right direction if you just like pressed it into the notch.
Mhm.
N64 controller was fucking goated. I
Yeah.
really like that controller, at least the stick anyway. But
And notch was a good idea that kind of died with the 64. I don't think I've seen anyone do like a notch controller again, kind of like
dog,
that.
you have to pay for notched controllers if you're a
Yeah.
Smash Melee player. You have to like find a guy who is like practiced enough to like file your controller by hand.
Yeah.
It's like a paid service. It's crazy out here. Like if you're a Fox player, you have to buy Fox notches from a guy who knows how to do Fox notches to give you like the right angles of like Foxfire uppy and shit. It's anyway, that's a whole other thing. But I wish if there's any justice in the world, we'd have every controller be a notched controller
Yeah, I
because
agree.
that shit feels so fucking good. Like how many times are you playing a fighting game and you're like not getting like a quarter circle and you realize like, oh, I'm holding the controller just a little tilted and I'm doing like not the right quarter circle amount.
Not a lot anymore because I use controller rarely. I still do. I still use controller, but I don't use it a lot anymore. More of like a mouse and keyboard boy. There are some games. Trying to think of the game recently I used a controller for. Probably like a Ratchet and Clank because I'm just used to using controller for Ratchet and Clank. Games that I have started using controllers on, I will then continue to use controllers on. So let's say like a Ratchet and Clank or a Rocket League, an Assassin's Creed game, a Spider-Man game. I'm just used to that game having a feel with the controller, so I will just continue to use a controller with those things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Banjo Kazooie with a controller for sure.
Something like that, yeah.
Type shit.
A racing game has to be controller for me. If there's
Yes.
anything, Even like a GTA, I'll use mouse and keyboard for everything except if I have to drive, and I'll have the controller like next to me just in case.
That's really funny.
Because
I
like,
kind of love that.
GTA games are really good with like play plug and play. So you can just have the controller on sitting next to you, and if you use your keyboard, it'll switch to the keys to like give
Yeah,
you
yeah,
like.
yeah.
And then if you just even touch anything on the controller, it'll then automatically everything switches over to controller settings. So it's
Yeah.
easy to do stuff like that. Red Dead Redemption 2, 100% controller.
That's one thing that Wuthering Waves does better than Genshin. Is Genshin can't do, like, if you have a controller plugged in, you have to go, escape, settings, input style, drop down from keyboard to controller. And if you want to switch back, you have to hit start button, settings, input style, keyboards. Like, it's like a whole, like, you can't
Yeah, that's
just
annoying.
like, yeah,
Well, I
as
would
opposed
assume
to like,
especially like an added annoying bonus for you because you use a PlayStation controller, so you have to
used
like
to.
jump
I
through more
used to be
hoops.
PlayStation.
Oh, okay. So you've switched
Now,
over
now I'm
to.
Xbox. Now I'm Xbox. When I went to see Babe, she gave me one of her Xbox controllers, little pink guy. Audio
Oh,
listeners, I'm
nice.
holding up a pink Xbox controller. It's so
Yeah.
cute. Although between you and me, it's a wireless controller and it works wirelessly on my computer, but my computer doesn't have any wireless technology in it. It has no wireless receiver of any kind. So I don't know why this works because wireless headphones do not work. And you'd think it's because it's plugged in with a cord. Audio listeners, there's a cord, but if I unplug it, it keeps working, and it shouldn't. And I don't know why it does.
I bet your motherboard
Weird.
has a
Weird.
Bluetooth.
It doesn't
A
because I can't use Bluetooth headphones on my computer. Like
Yeah,
it
but
won't
are
register
those
them.
those Bluetooth headphones you were trying to do the other day, where it was like they had a dongle with them?
No, any of them.
Oh,
Like generics.
interesting.
Like yeah, I've tried like 4 pairs, and I can't use my Joy-Cons either, which are Bluetooth famously.
Well, Joy-Cons aren't they famously only able to be used on like they're kind of a locked product? Like you can't really use them on other stuff, can you?
Yeah, you can use them on the PC.
Oh,
Well, I
interesting.
guess I've never seen someone set that up, but I have seen someone using them with a PC question mark.
They probably have to use it through an emulator though, I'd imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think Xbox controllers or PlayStation lookalike controllers that use the Xbox like platform are able to just automatically connect and be used. But it's
Yes.
usually through a like I don't have a dongle for um Bluetooth, and I wouldn't know that my computer had Bluetooth, but I can connect to Bluetooth
Oh, interesting.
because it has a Bluetooth receiver on like the like thing. And I imagine if you went and downloaded the latest Bluetooth drivers, a Bluetooth button would pop up and be like, "Hey, you have Bluetooth." Because if you don't have
Interesting.
those drivers, it just won't show the button. But it could still work. I imagine. I'm not saying 100%, but
That's fascinating.
could happen.
Well, that'll be a thing for later today, probably.
Um, going down the list, it's not super long. I think the games are cool. I think they have a real wide assortment of games. Kind of interested that they don't have a Smash Brothers teaser at least on this one, because you would
Well,
imagine that's one of their big titles or whatever.
Sakurai, Masahiro Sakurai, Mashed Potato Samurai, he very
Yeah,
famously said, this is the last Smash game with Ultimate.
interesting.
He was like, we're done. I'm not doing another. And then a whole bunch of people were like, yes, you are, bitch. We want to buy it. So a lot of speculation is that there's going to be another one.
I
But
imagine.
Sakurai himself was like, I don't really think that's not.
Yeah,
So maybe
money
Nintendo will
talks.
push him into it. Maybe they'll be like, yo, Casharino baby, here's some dollars. But as I understand it, unless something goes horribly awry for Sakurai and he has to do a thing he didn't really want to do, there's not going to be another.
Well, Japanese do love American culture sometimes, and they could take a playbook out of the Clintons and just kind of disappear them maybe, and then just make another Smash game. You know what I
My
mean?
God, how shit would a Smash game without Sakurai be though? Oh
I
no.
don't know. I don't know anything about him or his like.
Oh, he's
I mean, I know
integral. Trust me.
obviously he's the linchpin of the
Yeah,
series, but like if Nintendo wants it bad enough, they're gonna pay some money to like clone him. You know, get a
yeah.
little mini me in there and make something happen. I imagine. So that was kind of like, it's not a prop or a stop. It's just kind of like a. I was confused of why there might not be that, and then very interesting that they want to do a face cam integrated into like almost all of their games that they showed for the plus edition or like the Switch 2 edition of some games.
No, it wasn't.
Interesting.
No, it was a bunch of them that didn't have it.
There's a bunch of them that didn't have it, but
Like
there's a lot
Pokemon
that
and
had
Metroid
them.
didn't. Hades.
Well, Hades
Uh,
isn't a Nintendo first
oh,
title.
I guess that's true. But yeah,
Yeah,
like the
there's a
the
lot of
Zelda
non-Nintendo
games
first
didn't have
titles.
it. The Metroid games didn't have it. It was just the party games that had it.
Party games had it, and then they're doing this weird mouse thing, which you have to sell me on that. It looks interesting. It would
Mouse thing.
definitely open up
But using
the
Joy-Cons is
Joy-Con
nice.
mouse thing. It will open up the availability of being able to use mouse heavy intensive games, I guess, on the Switch. Will
League of
feel
Legends
weird
to the
for a
fucking
lot of.
Switch would be so funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be weird. I also scraping my Joy-Con against a surface for a long period of time seems a little sus. I'm sure they've done a lot of work to make sure they'll hold up, but I imagine if you go get like a
Uh,
$20 Joy-Con set, those probably aren't holding up to the mouse test.
well, I don't
They're
think
gonna
there's gonna be
be,
$20 Joy-Cons regardless.
well, the Timu Joy-Cons, you know what I mean? I'm not saying literally $20, but like
Oh,
if
well,
you go
yeah.
get your Timu Joy-Cons, you probably don't want to use them as a mouse.
Well, famously, fake Joy-Cons can't be used unless they're connected to the Switch. They don't have like no one who does like imitation Joy-Cons wants to pay for the wireless tech.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I would
Interesting.
imagine that secondhand Switch 2 Joy-Cons probably won't have wireless either, let alone the
I'm
mice
just,
capability.
I guess I didn't know just because I'm thinking of like, remember the old school, like you had your Dual Shock PlayStation 2 controllers, then you had like Duals Shock PlayStation controllers, and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
DUELZ.
And then you take the stick left and it just doesn't come back, you know?
Yeah. Oh my
You're like,
God. Do you
oh,
remember
okay.
Pelican brand bullshit?
Yeah, Belkin brand.
Pelican and Mad Catz both. Oh my
Oh, fucking
God.
Mad Cats can. Yeah, no, Mad Cats can jump off a bridge with how terrible their
Holy.
shit was.
Truly.
Um, so I mean, you know, the mouse thing, not a prop in a slot, but a fucking head turn, kind of like, oh, I didn't think that was gonna happen. That's interesting. Yeah, a little interesting, kind of.
It's kind of a prop for me. I'm into it.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's not bad, not good. It was a head turner for me. It wasn't like I wasn't clapping out of my seat. I wasn't standing up, going like, oh my god,
Well, hear
you
me
know.
out.
Sure.
Joy-Cons don't have a D-pad. They have 4 directional arrows under
Okay.
the stick.
Sure.
So it's kind of like having 2 gaming mice instead of a keyboard. Right?
It'll be
Because you
weird.
have all your little buttons right here to
Yeah.
press. Plus,
Yeah, it'll
like the
be
2
interesting.
toppies, you have because you think of a mouse having a left click, right click, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have L and ZL or whatever,
I
R
wonder
and
if they
ZR,
come
so
out.
they have left and right click.
I wonder if they come out with a Nintendo branded keyboard, mini keyboard. Because like if you already
Already
have your
exists.
mouse, you have your little Switch 2 keyboard going on, little action. So
Already
then you just
exists,
have
brother.
mouse and keyboard. You know what I mean?
They have one.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, for the GameCube.
Ew. Oh, for like a Fantasy Star, I imagine.
Yeah. And they have one
And
for the
Animal Crossing.
3DS also. For Pokemon Learn to Type.
Oh well. 3DS. I mean, I guess.
It's just it's a Switch that doesn't fold. You know what I mean? Or that rather, it's a Switch that does
Switch
fold.
that does fold. Yeah.
So like, I would not be surprised at all if Nintendo was like, "Here's a keyboard."
So this is gonna be a slop for me. This next
Sure.
one.
Yeah.
In I know I'm gonna preface by saying I get it. It's gonna be a mid-generation refresh thing they do this for,
Oh,
because
the
they did it
screen.
with the Switch
I
One.
I already know where you're
Should have
going
just
with,
been
yeah.
base OLED. Should have been base OLED. I don't care that they're gonna do a mid-season refresh and do an OLED screen. You are already doing OLED screens. That is the stronger of the systems right now. You should have just went into the next system with an OLED screen. Uh, I don't care if it's like if it looks makes the games look better, which it would. I get it. They're using an updated from the original LCD screen to like a better LCD screen, but LCD compared to OLED, OLED wins out pretty much all the time.
I have
If
to
you're not
wonder
using a shit one,
I have to wonder if there's, like, a back end reason mechanically or, like, logistically for that other than just, like, pure capitalism.
pure capitalism, I'd imagine. I don't want to
Like,
think like that.
it's a good chance it's pure capitalism, but I do have to wonder if maybe, like, the price difference is just so high per unit for a screen that size,
Well, you know what it
or
is.
if Hmm,
You know what it is, and I don't want to. Again, I don't want to assume the worst, but I think it is this. You deprive the players from what they really want for so long, then when the OLED Switch 2 comes out for a mid-generation refresh with like a stronger graphics and some more RAM or whatever, people will then jump at the bit and buy that too. And so why put the original product that you released, the Switch 2, with an OLED screen when you can double dip? So like when, Pokemon Generation 10 comes out, whatever, 11, 12, whatever it is now, they can be like, hey, look, here's the Switch 2.5 instead of the Switch 3. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think OLED, it should have just been OLED. At least give people the thing they already been having for a while. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just think that is a slot for me as far as like, don't downgrade people. Just give them the OLED screen, you know?
well, like I said, I wonder if there's, like, a logistical thing on the back, like, maybe the price becomes so high per unit by doing that, and it's already $449, which is the most expensive Nintendo console that they've ever done.
Oh, well, something about that.
So so it might be the case that it would jump to, like, 480 if you had the OLED in each one or whatever, and that's, like, pretty because I know, like, the Switch versus Switch OLED was a $50
Mm,
price hike,
yeah,
you know? So who's to say how much of that is the OLED screen versus how much is, like, redesigning the body and, like, the new kickstand, like, components had to
sure.
be moved around inside, there's, like, upgrades on the internals a little bit. So I'm sure, like, a part of that, maybe, like, a 25, maybe $20 upgrade on the screen or something.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they weren't trying to have a 475 price point or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean that could be it. I mean that could be definitely it,
Yeah.
and then they can sell like a upgraded 2.5 at some point, and then it's not as bad because they at least the people that wanted to switch to have it, and then if they want a
Yeah.
2.5, they can have it. I get it. Still double dipping still kind of makes me feel
Well,
icky about it.
here's my
However,
thing.
I will
Oh,
say
good.
in the slop there is a prop, and that is I did not expect them to be in. They were very clear about the language up to 120 hertz. Fucking sick. I'm sure not
Yeah,
a lot of
20
games are
on a
going to be
120
able
hertz screen.
um to hit that mark, but I'm sure 60 frames will be, fingers crossed, a point they want to hit on everything coming out. I'm sure 60
Yes.
is like baseline. And
Yeah,
the
I agree with
screen,
you.
if there's a game that can come out and like be better, then the screen can go up to that point. If the technology's there and the game making is good, they could probably hit that 120. But 60, okay.
And a
The
4K dock. What the fuck? Let's go.
Yeah, 4K
Not
upscaling
that I
on the
care. I
fucking
don't care
dock is
about
crazy.
4K, but like that's insane that
Yeah.
it's an option.
Yeah,
But
because you have other
yeah,
games and
I agree
other
with you.
systems that we won't name here that can't even do 2K in 60 frames. So the fact it's going to
Yes.
even attempt to 4K upscale to with 60 for if it can hit 4K 60,
Pretty
fuck
good.
the props and slops. They're going to be banking. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what I say.
You
If they
know
can hit
what?
4K 60, they kind of win
I
in
wonder if that's
for a
true.
while.
And I'll
Really?
tell you why I say that.
Okay.
I think and this is the case with Street Fighter players, Pokemon players, FFB players, Smash players, people that are into tech, people that are into art, people that are into, the culinary aspect of whatever. This is true for everyone with any interest, right? I think it's very easy to get lost in the fog of your own interest,
Okay.
and lose touch with like the average consumer. I'm 99% sure that 95% of consumers don't give a fuck about technical specs of anything. So like, you know what I mean? Like the 4K thing probably doesn't appeal to most of the audience, and it'll just be people that are like tech heads or people that are like, I think if you were to ask on the street, just take a microphone to like a Best Buy. Excuse me, Switch 2 buyer, do you give a fuck about 4K? I bet 19 out of 20 they're going to be like, I does my TV do that? I can't tell. I don't know.
Yes, I get that. I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
innovation isn't driven by those people anyway, so that's fine. They can feel the way they want to feel, right? But
Innovation
innovation's
isn't, but sales figures are, unfortunately.
true. But we would still be back in the Pong days if there wasn't those 5% of people who are interested in innovation, right? So like, so yeah, I sure. Yeah, for the child. Oh, your
Are you
camera
good?
has done a whoopsie daisy.
Did my camera wheezy?
Yeah.
Oh, camera wheezy.
Oh no. Does this mean
I mean, the mic's
the
fine.
odd? Oh, the mic. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
last
mic's all
time it
good.
was like your all your USB devices went wacky style, right?
It did do that. I
Yeah.
fear
I
my
think
camera
I
is
think
doing
you're
the thing
funny.
your camera was doing.
Well, hear me out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I become a sponsor of them, and
Imagine.
then I can get a coupon code or a CDog 10. You know what I mean? CDog
I'm gonna
15.
do it. I'm a plug unplug.
Yeah, do it, bro. It's it's telling me audio only. We'll only record audio. Yeah, we should have only been recording audio. Goofball. What?
That's really funny.
And to your point, like, yeah, I get it. Also, audio listeners, the camera has died
Should be fine now.
on Beau's. Yeah, you're back.
But
Um,
yeah, it's like my whole thing. It's like, again, I use the Yu-Gi-Oh example constantly. Anyone with half a brain is not buying packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards or any other TCG. They're going to a local game store or eBay or like a friend, and they're buying singles every time. If you have half a brain and care about your money at all, you're buying singles. If you're trying to build a deck to go to a tournament, you're not like, gee, I hope I pull 3 of that thing I need to compete. You're buying it.
yeah, but in that same token, sure, you're doing that, but like everyone else, the mass majority of people are going and
Yes.
buying a pack for their kid or
Correct.
fucking their mom is
Yes.
buying a booster box or whatever the fuck. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So like
That's
I
and
get
that's
though
my
there are those
point.
people.
And that's my point.
What's your point?
That all those people you just said that are buying packs, they don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about 4K. They don't even know if their TV can do that. Those are the people that are just the average consumer, and we're the guy saying, "Oh, 4K, that's hype," but we're the
Sure.
guy buying singles.
Sure. Like that can be a
Yeah.
thing.
So
But
like, is it cool
also,
to innovate? Is it good that that's happening? Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. But is it going to drive the market into sales because of that? Probably not. Like, it'll be
Well,
cool to have and it's good, but also Switch 2, Pokemon is on it and Zelda's on it. That's the selling point. That's 99% of sales is, "Oh, I can catch more Pokemon and also I can play Link again? Whee!" Like, they are really not pressed about 4K upscaling on the dock.
I hear what you're saying. I understand that point. However, I do think while like the 5% of us, the 10% of us that do care about the specs or whatever, I think that's a good point you made. There's also other technology markets that are doing kind of similar stuff where like you go to bestbuy.com and the first 10 TVs you see are going to all be like different versions of a 4K. Like they're pushing 4K now as like the cheap $600 option
Yes,
for a TV.
I agree.
So while the 10% of us that care about the specs, it won't matter for the Nintendo. Nintendo is going to be looking at what are the TV makers doing, and they go, "Oh, if you and Babe get a house today, or me and my partner get a house today, if we go to Best Buy and we need a new TV, what are we getting? Probably a 4K TV, because that's going to be what's being made in abundance and probably the
Yes.
cheapest that would look decent today.
Sure. And I think
So
you're right.
then, so
But I
then,
think that
like it,
won't translate to sales for the Switch necessarily.
true. But if let's say they didn't have 4K support, then every household that has a 4K TV would be like, this looks like fucking dog shit on my TV. And then they'd have a lot of other issues. You know what I mean? So I
That's
do
really
see your
funny.
point. I see your point, but I
Yeah.
also think that it does need to. They do what I guess I'm saying, which is what we're both agreeing with, just in different ways. 4K was good that they added it, and I think it is important. I
Yes.
guess that's the
Yeah,
key.
I agree.
Is
It's good that it's there. I'm glad
it's
it's
good that
there.
it's there. I think it's important that it's there, and I guess I can understand that you're not really of the on the importance train of it.
Yeah.
You just like that it's there. I think it's good that it's there and it's important,
Well, because like
not only
here's my
for
thing,
us
right?
and then the other people.
Because
There,
here's my thing.
I, one more point.
Please, please, please.
The kid who's getting it for Christmas probably doesn't care that it's 4K, doesn't even understand what 4K is. I get that
Right.
part.
Yeah.
But that's not their only market. And so that, like, maybe out of the millions of sales they get, billions of sales probably, the portion of that will be children whose moms are getting it for him. But like the dad who's going to use his son's Switch to play Pokemon Ranked or some shit, he probably wants that in 4K, or
That's sure.
you know what I mean? So
But the,
I see it, but
but
I
I don't
also have the
agree.
importance.
I don't
I know
agree
you
at
don't.
all.
I know you don't.
And like, here's the thing. We have to look at which games were the best-selling games on the Switch. And think about right now, if you're a gamer, your opinion. You and I believe this currently right now. If you're not in 1080 60 FPS, what fucking year is it? Right? Like yuck.
That's true.
However, the best-selling, most loved games on the Switch run like ass and look bad.
True.
The
But
average consumer truly doesn't give a fuck. Like for real, they don't care.
well, I think
Like
actually,
whole ass adults that are playing Breath of the Wild on Twitch right now. Like they just don't give a shit.
well, I can understand Nintendo fans being conditioned to like basically like bad slop is good for them, so they
No,
continue to buy Nintendo.
no, that's
No,
so
but
diminishing. You can't say
I
that.
know. So I do know that like some polls. I'll find the poll while I'm talking about this. But people were polled recently, as like in the last couple years, of like if they can tell the difference between 30 and 60 FPS, and the majority of people can see that difference. So anything after 60 is kind of like, if you've been gaming a while, you have peepers that can like
Yeah,
tell
120
the
versus 60
difference,
or
right?
75 versus 60.
You and I have been gaming a while. We can drastically tell if something drops from 120 to 60 in a heartbeat. That's
For sure.
easy.
Of course.
And maybe between you and I, there might even be a difficulty in seeing 144 to 120. There could be a like
Well, I wouldn't
slight
notice.
variance.
I can tell already I wouldn't notice.
And I'm kind of in the other category.
I think I
can
wouldn't notice
tell
anyway.
if anything goes sub 100 frames and I was at like 144, I can easily tell. It's like jarring to me.
Well, 144 to like 95, I'd probably notice. 144 to
Yeah.
120, I don't think I'd notice.
Yeah. So what I guess I'm saying is like, I don't think people will care if it's either 60 to 120. That like maybe half the gamers really understand what's going on in that moment. But if the Switch 2 comes out and they dock that shit and it's at 30 frames, you're gonna go, what the fuck am I playing? When then you undock it and it's 60. That's jarring.
But like Breath of the Wild's auto-locked 60 or auto-locked 30 right now and drops to like 28, 25,
Yeah, it's bad.
22. And people suck that game's dick. They love that game. Tears of the
Well,
Kingdom, they cannot get enough, and it's 22 FPS in most towns.
Is that like a confirmed after like the new
Yes.
Switch came out and everything, or is that old Switch?
Oh, no, I'm talking about Switch 1. Switch 1.
Switch 1. Okay.
So I'm saying if that's
So like current.
like
Okay.
like
Yeah,
we
go
have
ahead.
to understand that like Like, yeah, gamers like us, we care, like, oh, 60 is very important, 22 looks like slop, whatever. But the average person, they'll be like, oh, it's running kind of shitty in this village. Oh well, shrug. And that's it. That's the end of their involvement. And they're just, I'm trying to build wacky machines and go save Zelda. You know what I mean? They're like, who gives a fuck about that? They do not. It doesn't even register in their brain to give a shit about that.
And when did the Switch 1 come out? Because I'm curious, did the
17,
Switch 1 come out 17, 16,
20,
17?
2017, 2017.
2017. Okay.
And I believe the
Um,
chip it was using was a 2015 Integra chip question mark. So it's 2015 tech and a 2017 machine.
ooh, okay. So then I have to wonder at that point what handheld gaming, because okay, we can talk about like, okay, I'm not ever going to compare a Nintendo game to like a PlayStation game, because that would just be a bad, like, I would be in bad faith if I did that, right? I'd be an asshole,
Yeah, sure.
because I'm ever going to do that. That's dumb.
Because
Like,
we all know that the PlayStation
yes.
4 outputs better, looks better. That's an
Yeah,
obvious. Like we
that
know
would be
that.
dumb for me to do that, and I'd be a crackhead for
Yeah,
doing that.
no one's buying a Switch thinking they're gonna get the PS4 graphical experience yet.
I'm thinking between you and I, if we're just crap shooting it, I'm okay with Breath of the Wild being 30 FPS in a 2017 shell with a 2015 processor in 2017. You know what I mean? That's fine for me. Handheld gaming at that point, I don't think the Stream Deck had come out yet. The ROG piece of shit ROG thing didn't come out yet.
The Asus ROG Ally.
I I've seen terrible videos about that, by the way.
That thing
It's
sucks for sure.
a brick. Like, you can just build houses with it because it's more useful than playing games on it. Um so like handheld gaming hadn't gone too far yet. Like, we still
And it's
were coming
expensive.
off.
It's like $400.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeesh.
So
Anyway.
like, I can see from this, if we were talking about this in 17 and me going like, can't believe it's 60 frames, I could understand people going like, dumb bitch, games aren't in 60 frames in handheld very much in this, because what was the other biggest handheld gaming piece at that point other than the Switch? What else were we using at that
3DS.
point? 3DS. So the jump from 3DS to Wii to then the Switch, amazing. Great jumps, right? We can all agree progress was made. Because the 3DS, and then you had the last console they had done was the Wii U, or was it just Wii?
I think the 3DS came after the Wii U. Or same time.
Really?
Because the Wii was 2011. I think the Wii was
Oh, interesting.
2014, maybe?
Oh, I get confused on like the console Wii, because there was like 7 versions of it, right? What was the like latest version before the Switch came out?
Well, there were 2 different distinct consoles. It's the same as Switch and Switch 2.
Because
There's the
I'm
Nintendo
thinking of
Wii,
the
that's like the
Wii.
upright guy with the nunchuck and the
I'm
stick.
thinking of the Wii thing with the pad on it, because couldn't you game with the pad too?
Yeah, that's called the Wii U. That's the
Okay.
second different system.
So
that one came out in 2012.
That's the one that came before the Switch, essentially the console before the Switch.
Yeah, yes, and that was
Okay.
2012.
So think of the leaps and bounds they made from the Wii U gamepad thingamabobber to then
3DS was
Switch.
2011. I'm seeing, which is basically the same time.
I was thinking that I said 3DS because I thought it came out after the
Yeah,
Wii U or whatever.
yeah.
So the
Yeah.
Wii U is what I was thinking of, the
Sure.
thing that looked like the
pad
Switch,
guy.
but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So the leaps and bounds they made from the Wii U to the Switch, great, right? All I'm saying is, I think after the Switch comes out in 2017, it's 30 FPS, solid, and then other competitors come out with like 60 FPS variants, like the Switch, the Steam Deck. I was gonna say Switch Deck for some reason. The Steam Deck comes out and it's 60 frames, looks really good, has an OLED version and an LCD version. Switch 1. I'll call it 1.5 comes out, and it's OLED, gets better frames. I then want the Switch 2 to come out and say, okay, if we were shooting for 30 frames and getting below that on the Switch 1, we were able to kind of get what we wanted with 1.5. I want 2 to be that next generational leap and go, we're hitting in. It's not really a generational leap because Nintendo's usually behind, but I'm comparing Nintendo to Nintendo right now.
Nintendo's usually behind is so funny.
Well, it kind of is sometimes in a lot of ways. But I'm saying like I'm not comparing it to like Xbox. I'm comparing Nintendo to Nintendo.
Sure, sure.
I want Nintendo's leaps and bounds to be better than 1.5 was. Oh, Switch OLED is what I'm calling 1.5. And so I want to be 60 frames even if the layman doesn't care about 60 frames because that's quality. And then what will happen is the people who said I don't care about frames, they'll go back and play one again and go, holy fuck, this is bad. I want my 60 frames. When they see that comparison, they will then know. But really, they don't have anything to compare right now. But if you're a Switch 1 user going to Switch 2, you're gonna tell. You might not understand why it's better, but you're gonna be like, oh, this feels better for some reason. And then you're gonna Google like some of our people who watch are trying to learn how to do and like Google things and go, I wonder why the Switch 2's like feels better, like it feels smoother, and then they're gonna see the article where they're like, Switch 2 has 60 frames per second, where the Switch 1 has struggled to maintain 30 in a lot of games, and then you'll
God,
go,
I wonder.
I see.
Hmm.
You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
have a lot of faith that that would happen, but I can see in a world that it should. I can see why you'd hope
I
for
don't
it.
have the Googling faith, but I know people will tell the difference. Even if you're a Neanderthal, you can tell the difference between 30 and 60.
No, no, no,
You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
think they're unaware of the difference. I think they just don't
Yeah.
give a shit.
I don't know. I don't
Because keep in mind,
necessarily.
we're talking about 22 FPS Breath of the Wild in 2017 or whatever, but they rebought that thing with more sales when it came out Tears of the Kingdom in 2022 or whatever. 5 years later, same FPS issues. In fact, it ran worse. And they were like,
Yeah.
cool, can't wait to do that again. Let's fucking go, baby. Like, I
Yeah, I
think
guess I would
brand
have to see
loyalty
like
and like,
how much of the people who bought the game bought it again, I guess, on the same console. Like if you bought it, like why are we buying it again? Like I'm sure there are some diehard Nintendo fans that'll do that. Like with any diehard fan might do that. Like with I'm sure there are the people who buy every single Pokemon game, and then there's people who only buy like the one generation game, and then they're like, I don't need the other one, right? But like there will be a subset of people who buy all of them, right? I think there will be those certain people
oh,
that are
like
like,
people that
I'm
only
gonna
buy
buy.
Violet or Scarlet, not both. You mean?
Yeah, I think there will be people who are like, if Breath of the Wild Director's Cut 2 Premium Plus Edition comes out, sure, I guess some people will buy it. But if that game comes out on the Switch 2 and it plays continuously worse than like the Switch 1, it's gonna be noticeable, and people will be like, this is fucking crazy. What's going on? And then there will be a slow shift, but it will happen. It won't be right away. But I feel like people, if Switch 2 comes out and every single game plays at like 28 FPS, people are going to be like, what the fuck is this? The kid probably won't, but we're not talking about the kids. We're talking about people with like
I'm
brains that have
talking
been
about whole ass
developed.
adults. I'm talking about
Yeah.
people you see streaming Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom this year.
Wow.
I'm talking about whole ass adults. I'm talking
Well, I
about
know a
people
lot
I
of
know
people who streamed
personally.
it too that also were streaming it on the Switch. Air quotes.
Ah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
really
And the
funny.
Switch was like a box sitting next to them that also
That's
ran web
very
browsers.
funny.
You know what I mean?
That's very
And could
funny.
get 60 frames because it was not a Switch. So I don't
Those
know.
are
Like
not the people I'm talking about, but that's
yeah.
very funny.
Like I think it matters, but it's not like, you know what I mean?
It's good
I
that
think it
it's there.
matters.
It matters. I don't think it translates to sales really. It might be a tiny bit, couple of percent, but I think generally speaking, like I don't think that translates to sales too much.
Generally, if something's better, I think it does better sales wise if it's a good product. I think I think no one's buying it because like I'm not going to go into Walmart and be like, oh wow, OLED screen, I'm buying this. That's weird. But if it's a good product and looks really good, and I'm at my friend's house and he's like, look at this thing, you're like, holy shit, dude, those blacks look like I'm looking into the darkness of space. I'm like, that's so much better than the Switch One. I think I might pick it up. You know what I mean? I could see that happening for a lot of people. They don't
Maybe
understand
some.
why it's happening, but it could be. You know,
Some people
it's
perhaps. Some people.
it, it's all theory crafting, right? Because we don't know 100% if things are going to happen this way. But usually,
No,
if
I'm just
something's
following
really
the
good
market
and
trend
hype,
of the Switch.
well, And I think you can follow the market trend from the Switch OLED that did really well. And
Worse than the
people,
Switch
yeah, well, it's not going to
by
do
a
as better at,
lot,
it's not going to do better than the Switch because it's still the Switch.
but it
What I'm
didn't even
saying
do
is,
like half as good.
yeah,
It
but
had like a
I don't
third of the
think any
sales.
console, I don't think console does that good. Like, are you saying that like a kid with a PlayStation whose mom spent a lot of money to get that PlayStation, is he gonna get the PlayStation Point 2, the Slim? No, his mom's gonna be like, "You have a fucking PlayStation, bitch." You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. But again, you keep falling back on kids for some reason, and I don't know why. I think the average consumer does that. They'll be like, "Oh, I have a PS2 Fat. I'm not buying the Slim. I already have the Fat."
But to your same,
But
to
then,
what you
but then,
just said,
to
the
our
average
credit, the PS2
consumer,
Slim sold better than the Fat. The second version of that system did surpass the original by a lot.
do we have the exact numbers for the Slim or the
We could
the
get them.
OLED and the LCD for the Switch?
Nintendo Switch 1 sales.
Because I'm saying if the product is good, so here's my thing: is what I'm saying. If the product's good to begin with, I don't think that the point 2 is needed or the point 5 is needed. I don't think the PlayStation 2 Slim is needed if the PlayStation 2 suffices, if it's good enough. Because what did the Slim PlayStation do that the PlayStation 1 wasn't doing? As far as I remember,
Oh,
it
I
didn't
don't know
have
about
like a
the
huge
PS2
new graphics
technical
thing.
specs.
I think it was just slim. It was just like, hey, we made stuff smaller. Yay. You can like put more books on your nightstand or something. Like,
I think it stopped overheating as much.
well, I guess that's nice.
Yeah, like the
I was
PS2
one of the
Fat had
kids
like an
with the fat.
overheating issue.
I had a fat PS2 and it never overheated. So I guess I didn't have a dirty room or something. I don't know. I'm not calling people out. If your PlayStation 2 overheated, I'm not saying you had a dirty room. I'm just saying how much dust was in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. I'll tell you what, I don't have the actual like total sales figures for like versus, but I can see that the OLED model of the Switch sold 1.24 million units. And the Nintendo Switch total has 143 million units sold. That's bad, dude. That's less than 1%. That's bad.
Yeah, so I do see
Like I'm gonna double
that.
check that in fact, because it sounds like that seems like it has to be wrong. I'm gonna double check that actually.
Um, I can't find a website that I feel like is trustworthy, but there's one that looks like it does a lot of Nintendo news. And it looks like they have an article saying breaking down the 150 million lifetime shipped figure from the Switch. It shows that it shipped 57 million units in America. And the regular Nintendo Switch model accounts for 96 million units of total Switch consoles shipped worldwide. The Switch OLED accounts for 29.41 million units, and the
Uh-huh.
Switch Lite accounts for 24.7 million units. And I guess we have to assume that the market did pretty bad for the OLED because it came out after the Lite, right? Am I getting the timeline wrong? Because I think the Lite was after.
Light came out first.
Light came out first. So I imagine.
Yeah, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. God damn. Regardless of what it made money wise, they fucking shipped some Switches. And
Yes.
they hit every price point at the end of the day. They hit the Lite, which was, from what I understand, weaker than the Switch by a little bit. But then the OLED was stronger than both. And they were like,
Yeah.
hey, just buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's kind of tight.
Yeah, the Switch was 2017, Switch Lite was 2019, Switch OLED was 2021.
Yeah.
So there were 2 years between each. But what I'm saying is like that Switch original eclipsed it, dog. Like it's not even like it's 50-50. It's like bad. Like even using charitable numbers, it's like bad.
Yeah, I just feel like that will happen. I don't know. It seems I don't feel like the Slim would have made more money than the original. Like if we're comparing, I think it's fine. I think that makes sense. I think the PlayStation 2, like a console, the Switch, it's understood that the Lite's not going to make as much money as the original. It would be understood that the OLED, because it's the same generation. If it's a different generation, it's like saying like an Xbox and then 360. Well, that's a bad, because Xbox 360 did have literally the fact you couldn't play it. Never mind. Bad. I'm not gonna bring up the 60, but like I understand market trends. I understand that. I'm
Yeah.
not dumb. I get your point. I'm not
Yeah.
saying you
So
called me
like
dumb, but I'm saying
well no, of
like
course, of course. Yeah, because like
it
when
would
I see
make
that the
sense.
PS2 Slim sold way better than PS2 Fat, like I think probably something that had to do with that was the fact that the PS2 Slim had an Ethernet port on the back and the Fat did not, for the
Yeah,
sake of
like I'm
online
not.
play. But the OLED had an Ethernet port built in, and the Switch normal didn't. So like it's kind of the same upgrade, and we've seen before upgraded consoles like Fat to Slim PS2. The Slim shits on the Fat, and
Yeah, but I don't
then
think. But
OLED drops, and
again,
it's like a quarter of the sales, maybe.
I don't think the well. I don't think it's the Ethernet port. I think you're right that it's an upgrade. I don't think the Ethernet port has anything to do with it. It's the fact that you're right. The two, or I'm sorry, the PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah.
Overheated. It had a problem
Yeah, it
where
did
it
have the
was
overheating
defective.
issues. It had
So if
like the
I'm
port upgrades.
if I'm
There's some
like
other
a
stuff.
gamer, a kid or an adult, and I'm like, yo, fuck this. This shit's not working. I want the Slim because it's not gonna fuck up on me and overheat. Then I could
True.
see that being a thing. I don't think the Switch had, other than the battery, which came very late. I don't think it had battery issues at the beginning, right? It was only kind of later on in the life where they were like, oh shit, by the way, guys, if you don't turn the Switch on, you're in trouble. I don't think the Switch had
Oh,
any one of those.
where you leave it off too long and it just won't turn back on.
Yeah, I don't think it had those issues in the
I
beginning because people were using them, and then people kind of slowly stopped using them, and then they went to turn them on a year later, and it's like, oh fuck,
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know
think
if
that was a
those.
widespread thing.
I guess there's no way we could know if they had those originally because no
Yeah,
one had the Switch off for a year before it came out. But
yeah. So I feel like what happened with these, like if we're comparing directly, Slim was a better product and didn't fuck up, and then we got the Slim. The Switch didn't have those issues, other than the fact it was kind of just a weaker system, and then it came out with like, hey, you can play, and it wasn't a weaker system as in like, oh, it's crashing on me, I can't play the fucking game like a slim, like the fat PlayStation 2. It's different from like, hey, I'm losing frames, what's going on, to like, oh, my fucking game just crashed because my thing is like 100 degrees. I don't think the Switch was having those issues. So like people looking at an OLED or a light go, I don't really need a light because I have a Switch and it works. I don't need an OLED because I have a Switch and it works. But if someone's wanting like to jump generationally, to go, I want to switch to me as a person buying something, I'd be like, oh, that sucks. I mean, I'm not gonna not buy it because of the screen, like I said, but I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying of like, well, obviously, if you look at, slim versus fat and Switch versus OLED, OLED did bad. It was a bad product. I just think Switch was such a good product they didn't need the OLED. I'm
I
actually
didn't say
saying,
that. Hold on. Wait a minute.
well, you're
My
saying the Slim did so much better sales wise. That doesn't matter what it is. It's just a better product, right?
what no. What I'm saying is the average consumer doesn't
Yeah.
want two of a thing even if the second one's upgraded. And the average consumer doesn't care about like the technical specs like a informed tech person might. So my whole thing is that when you're like, yo, if they have 4K, they'll win everything. Like they already won, they're gonna do great. I don't think that 4K inclusion or like the screen being OLED or not. I don't think
Mhm.
most people will even register that. Like they might be able to visually tell that's a different product, but I think from a sales perspective, buying power, buying motivation, I don't think they would ever even consider. Like that wouldn't be a factor. The decision making hinge, I think, for
Okay.
most people is what games are on it. End of thought.
I think I agree and I disagree at the same time. I'm kind of still kind of in that disagree mode because I feel like, hear me out, that I feel like we would have saw the same sales trends with fat versus skinny if fat wasn't overheating and killing itself. If and then I feel like as well, of course, we would never know because didn't have this issue. But if
Well, yeah,
Switch also had a similar diabolical issue where it was just you couldn't do anything because it was just shutting itself down 20 times, I
yeah.
think you would see higher
God, that would be
sales.
rough.
It would be rough, right? Because
Yeah,
like the fat was,
yeah.
and so I think you would see then the sales trends were like, okay, we bought this new product because it's better than the old product, and not in the way that like the old product had a vital flaw that was killing the game or killing your enjoyment. The Switch didn't have an enjoyment killing feature or bug or feature
Sure.
bug. Depends on
Feature
if
bug.
that's what they wanted. If that's what they
True.
wanted.
You're so right.
So I feel like we would have saw huge sales in the other two consoles if console number one had an issue. So I guess that's kind of like, I think it does matter in that sense, because if the product is flawed, people will go buy the second product if it's better. And when I say second product, I don't mean Switch 1 to Switch 2. I mean Switch
Switch one to
1 to
Switch
Switch
OLED.
OLED
Right.
or Switch Lite, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that next
I actually
half
don't know what the
generation
difference was
step is.
between the Switch one and
I
Switch
think
Lite.
the Joy-Con, I could be wrong, but I think the Joy-Cons were stuck on the unit. It was
Oh, they
one
didn't come
shell.
off.
I think so. I could be wrong.
Oh,
But I think
that's
it was
interesting.
smaller and they didn't move. I can look it up real quick. Switch Lite.
Yeah, I'm realizing now in hindsight that I've actually never seen a Switch Lite in person.
Yeah, so Switch Lite does not have Joy Cons that lead. It's like one shell.
Oh,
It's like
interesting.
one full shell, and it looks very small. I
Oh,
can
weird.
show you. And I went to the actual Switch Lite website, not like a weird whatever. It's just like Nintendo's website for the
Sure.
Switch Lite. Um, so like I could see if someone already had a Switch, they don't really need a Switch Lite because Switch was fine. Like there was no big major issues. Switch OLED is cool. Like it's a nice product for someone who wants a diehard Nintendo fan, right? But like because Switch One didn't have any issues, because it didn't have any glaring red ring of death or fat
God, remember
overload
that shit?
dead, right?
Red ring of fucking death, brother.
So I feel like that also impacts sales. And so I would say like market trend sure did not look well for the OLED, but it's only because the Switch was such a good product. And I think both of us could agree that the Switch was probably one of the best consoles that have come out in a long time, other than maybe like I think the GameCube was like pinnacle of not like performance in a 3D setting, but the versatility of a console I don't think will be seen like a GameCube was. And maybe the Switch has versatility too because it has all of its like it has like your GameCube thing coming, like the virtualization coming soon, and like your Game Boy and 64. But at the time, right, I think that was the most versatile console, right? And I
Yeah, I
wasn't a
agree with that.
huge Nintendo fan at that point, but I can see that even though it wasn't as powerful as like its competitor, it was the most versatile piece of technology that was out there.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%.
So that's kind of what I want Nintendo to get back to. Is like I want the Switch 2 to be fucking great. Because if it's great,
Same.
it pushes everyone else to be better.
Or to drop out of the console entirely. Or to just stop making
Well,
consoles.
true. True, true, true.
Or you could do an Xbox and be like, "Hey, you guys want to buy Halo? Because we'll sell you the franchise. It's okay. You can have Halo. Bye."
True. And I don't want to harp on this for like 4 hours, but I was just saying, like,
No,
in
sure, of course.
general, I think having an OLED screen would only help it, not like hurt it. And if 50 people didn't give a shit about it or 50% didn't care, that's fine. But I think there will be people that appreciate that. And then the upscaling, I think, would definitely be a thing because of just where technology's at now. In the next 3 years, I look on Best Buy and all these other companies, and you don't see 2K TVs much anymore. Like it's kind of dying out because they're just not making the panels much anymore. Like it's old dead stock, like getting kind of not recycled, but it's getting like marked down, get it out of the store because the shit's not selling. Like no one wants the shit anymore. Even like people who are strapped for money are like, I'll just put the 4K one on layaway. I'll put it
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah,
layaway
yeah,
for a
yeah.
year. You know what I mean? Because it's just better. Um,
True.
and I don't know if you've ever tried, if you're a gamer that's seen a 4K screen and tried to play something that didn't have 4K compatibility
No,
on it.
I haven't.
Fucking terrible. The latency, the how everything stretches and looks
Oh, really?
terrible. And then you can shrink it down to native size. So then it's like a huge black box. And like your game is in the center of the huge black box.
No.
It's tough.
That's really funny.
So good foresight for them to do that. That's definitely a prop for me.
Yeah, I'm with that. Fuck yeah.
And the
How do we
only other
feel about
slop I
projector
had,
gamers?
I need a good projector and a good either project because they have projector wall paint. I don't know if you've seen the
I
projector
have
paint they
not.
have. Yeah, so there's a special kind of paint that chat, forgive me, audio listeners, forgive me. I'm not a paint expert, but I think how it works is it absorbs light in a different way and allows the projector to come off crisper than it is. Because projector, if you depending on the one you have, it's very like faint sometimes, depending on what
Yeah,
you're shooting it off of.
sure.
And this projector paint allows you to, it acts like a projector screen surface, but it absorbs some type of light that makes the projector screen look better. Like it absorbs that
Interesting.
like um is it luminescence I'm thinking of? The how everything looks washed out on a screen. Is
Kind
it
of?
the luminescence I think that makes it look washed? It brings it back. It brings the picture back to like a good
Interesting.
um like quality. Digital image paint, projector screen paint. Yeah.
Whoa.
And you might think that's fucking goofy, like this is just like a Temu advertisement gone wrong. But there's like YouTube videos you can look and like see the difference. It's actually pretty cool. It's not like snake oil.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Projector screen paint. Wow,
Yeah.
weird. I'll be looking into that later. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
I've thought about being a projector gamer, I'll be honest. It's crossed my
Oh,
mind.
really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
because I have a big old wall over here that's just like chilling. Be using
They do
that
get
wall.
really
It's a big
hot.
ass.
If you have a hot room,
Projectors do.
that shit's gonna get hot. Yeah. It
Oh, I do
offloads
have
a
a
lot
hot.
of heat. I remember we used to have a projector in my old job in the conference room. The conference room had one small little duct in the corner.
Oh no.
And when that thing was on, it felt like we were cooking after a while. It's a gradual increase in temperature if you're in a
Sure, but
small
when you
room.
hit that point, you're oh, that sucks.
And I imagine
Hey,
too if your
but
room's
wax
already
melts in the
warm.
same room.
True. True. True.
True.
Exactly.
Multitask. Your wax
Multitask.
melter is your projector. It's the aesthetic.
Yeah. True. Very, very true. Are you okay. Different conversation for another day. I was gonna say, are you a wax melt more of a guy, or are you more of like a essential oil diffuser kind of
Oh, I'm
girly?
a wax melt fella, I feel. I mean, I haven't used the wax melter yet, but I like the concept a lot more. I like it on paper more.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It's just different wax. It's wax with a shit ton more scent oil in it. So
Yeah.
like it's stronger, but for what I feel like a less amount of time. because a
Right.
candle has
Yeah.
a warm throw and a soft throw, or
Cold throw.
a cold throw, and you can burn a candle and stop burning it, and it smells pretty good. But like at a certain point, a wax melt will just smell like burnt anything. It just smells burnt because you've already
Really?
like because you like used up the oil and now you're just burning the wax, and you're not burning it, so it's just melting, but it's not going away. So you'll just get like this faint smell of like not burning styrofoam or paper, but it just smells like, oh, it just
Like
smells
something
like
cooking?
something's cooking, but it's not smelling. It's just smelling like burnt. I don't know. It's
I
just,
can't wait to experience that so I know what you're talking about because that sounds
yeah.
fascinating.
You can faintly smell the scent, but it's overpowered by just like it not smelling like the scent. You have to.
What the
Everyone who
fuck?
uses
That's
wax melts
crazy.
understands. And old
Sure.
boy also uses different wax. He uses a higher quality wax.
He
So
does.
actually it might be a little better as far as like holding on to the scent after it's done. But
Interesting.
a lot of the store-bought melts I've used, you definitely start getting a weird, it's like a I'm gonna compare it to an aftertaste. It's like smelling an
Oh,
aftertaste.
like an
It's like
after smell.
you're like, while it's happening. I don't know. I sound crazy.
After
I
smell.
sound
Well, sure. I've described things as smelling dry before, and no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about. So I hear you. I
you
get it.
burn it for a while, burn it constantly, and then when it stops smelling, and then you smell what it's smelling like, you'll be like, oh, I understand.
Yeah,
He
this wax
exactly
melter I have
confirmed it.
has like a um like default on, just like on, and then it
And it
has
has
two,
like a
4, and
timer.
8 hour timer. I'm assuming
Yeah,
I want the 2 hour, no?
I would
Just a
use the
classy
four
2 and
hour
let it rock?
first to see how it melts,
Really?
because at least for the candles he has sent me, the wax he uses melts at a slower rate. It's a slower melt,
Oh, I see. So the
and
classy 4 hour.
I would do a classy 4 hour and see if it fully melts all the way through, because I don't know exactly about wax melts, but I think that you should have a burn where it like completely melts and then solidifies. I'd imagine
Sure.
there's
Sure.
like a memory, like a scent memory to that too, just like a candle or a burn memory. Yeah, something like that. I'm not the candle expert, but I think as a candle connoisseur, as a wax melt boy myself, that's what I'm thinking.
Have you ever seen someone use a wax melt warmer to keep coffee hot or like a drink? Like you put your cup on there?
No, but I know where you're going with this. I wouldn't put a regular candle on a wax melt warmer. I know they say you can do that,
Oh, that's
but it
not where I was
doesn't.
going, but that is
Oh,
interesting.
don't do it though.
But I saw pictures of the one that I have now with like a coffee mug sitting on it to keep the coffee warm, and I was like, that's odd.
You know, I would liken that to like, when you see something on Temu, you're like, oh, that looks weird. I don't think you should do that. Use that product for that.
Sure. Babe said
That's
that too. It
kind
was
of.
like, don't do that.
I don't think you should do that. No, because what I'm thinking is if you use a glass that's not good for heating and it explodes like glass does sometimes.
Ooh,
Nah,
true.
yeah, not a good idea. I don't know how hot it gets, but I would imagine not safe. Shards of glass bad.
I think it gets up to like 150,
Oof.
145.
And I don't want to make this the
Well,
Nintendo
you had another
podcast. Oh,
slop too.
well,
Before we get too
yeah, but
crazy off
it's
the
not
rails.
Nintendo's fault, unfortunately. This is like, you know. w- By the way, I should preface this. This is not a political podcast, and it
Oh.
won't be political.
Whoa.
However, because of the tariffs coming through in a couple days,
Oh.
the Switch pricing is probably going to change, and in fact, they have stopped pre-sale, or they've stopped because apparently pre-sale was supposed to come out in a couple days,
But
not
yeah,
coming
they
out right
paused the
now.
pre-orders. Mm-hmm.
Pause the pre-orders, and it's probably going to be more expensive unless they do something to stop what's coming. And it doesn't matter where you lean. I don't care. I have friends in every climate, every situation. A friendly guy with it.
Yeah.
But I do hate misinformation. And I just want to say that tariffs are felt by the people of the country the tariff is being put on. Actually, the opposite. It's on us
Like
essentially. If
American
we're
tariffs will hurt Americans.
American tariffs hurt Americans, and
Yes,
so if someone is saying to you, "It's fine because the other country will pay for it," you're actually
they
being
don't.
gaslit.
Yeah, that's not
No.
how that works.
So if Japan, for instance, let's assume that the Switch 2 is made in Japan, which it might not be. It might be made in another country, which it probably is made in another country. But for this instance, we'll say it is in Japan. If we're tariffing Japan, the people in our country that buy the product and get it put into the ports, so then they can sell it to other distributors, like who give it to Target or Walmart or GameStop, they actually feel the price on that. They pay the tariff on that, and then they go to these box stores and go, now this tariff price is put into my
Right.
wholesale price to these other companies. So if someone's telling you it's fine, Americans aren't going to pay for this. Trust me when I say, your Switch 2, anything that's getting tariffed right now, your car, for instance, your
Yeah,
Toyota,
automobiles. Oh yeah.
your Toshiba, your Honda. I said Toshiba. I understand it's Toshiba.
I no, I don't, I don't think they're a car.
Your Sony. Your I'm kidding.
You're Sony. Oh
I
no,
just wanted to see if you catch it.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like your Honda,
Your
your
Magnavox
Hyundai, whatever, yeah, whatever it is, it's gonna be more expensive now. And so I just
by
want
a lot,
anyone
not by a
who's
little, by like a lot.
maybe your parents, maybe your elderly parents told you it was gonna be okay. Maybe someone on the TV said it's not actually how it works.
Yeah,
I didn't go
no.
to school for it, but I'm not dumb. I
This
know
is
how
not a
economics
Mexico
works.
pay for the wall thing. This is like a
No.
this is like your wallet will
Yeah.
feel it. This is like
So
carrots and like carrots becoming more expensive type shit. But instead of carrots, it's a
funny,
car.
we bring this up now because I've talked to someone in the DMs. They didn't really understand this. And they were like, I fucking hate how
Oh, do they not have it in that
Amazon
country?
products. Whoa, hear me out, bro. They're like, it sucks that Amazon products keep going up. Amazon's a scummy business and a bad business. And I was like, you had one part of that right. Amazon is a scummy bad business sometimes.
Not for that though.
You know who though is at blame for prices going up? It's kind of crazy. He's like, who? I was like, the people who put tariffs on products coming into America from China, because then those prices go up. And he's like, that's not how that works. And I go, oh, how does that work? And they tell me, well, actually, if a tariff goes onto a product from another country, the company in that country pays for it. I'm like, oh, so it's Amazon's fault because they're yeah. So
Man.
you can understand we don't talk anymore because I was giving
To be
them
clear, he's right.
misinformation.
The other company will pay for it in the sense that they're paying more to manufacture
True.
the thing.
True.
However, the next step is that you're going to pay more because their costs went up. So did your bottom line price tag, dummy. Like,
but that wasn't obviously they
well,
forgot that part. That part
yeah,
was actually not how it worked, and Amazon was just doing it to stick it to us.
yeah.
And I was like,
Their
they
profit
do
margin
that
won't
quite a bit.
change. The amount
Yeah.
you have to pay to support their profit margin staying the same will increase. Their cost of doing business went up,
Yeah.
and then to pay for that, your cost of buying the thing went up.
Yeah, so I wanted to, we both have people that might be very easily misunderstand something if they're told something by like a ranking official somewhere that might
Yeah.
not might be like running for re-election or something that might not really want to provide the
True.
truth. And so I just wanted to, if they're listening, if you're out there, my boys, my girls, that's just how tariffs work. I just want everyone to know. So if your
Yeah.
Switch 2 happens to be like $500+ and you're like, that's a weird tax, I wonder why that's so expensive now. And then they said it wasn't going to be that expensive. Tariffs suck. They don't help us.
It'd be like if I said, hey, this chocolate bar is $2. When you said, hey, there's a 400% tariff on chocolate all of a sudden that you have to pay for as the manufacturer. Instead of paying 40 cents to make my chocolate bar, I'm paying $2. So
And you know
guess
what's
what?
crazy?
I'm not selling it for $2 anymore. I'm now selling it for $3.60 so I can keep making my $1.40 or $1.60 on the chocolate.
And you know what's funny? People might say, why don't they just make a Switch 2 in America? Good point. Why don't they? one, more expensive, but two, you don't understand that if the Switch 2 is made in America, that's great. But guess where all the parts are going to come from? Countries that are being tariffed extra now.
Yeah.
And that will also go into the price of the Switch 2. So Switch
Yes.
2 is an example. I the car business. So if Ford wants to make a truck and the batteries come from China, guess who now is paying more expensive truck
Yeah.
costs now? You are, because your tailgate's made in fucking Indonesia. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah. And
It
I'm sure
doesn't
their
work
thought
that way.
process is, why isn't
Yeah.
every component made in America? And unfortunately, the real answer to that is because the components to make those parts do not exist in America. They
So
simply
anyway,
aren't here,
I
is
think
the
I did a
reason.
good job skating
Yeah.
that. You know, we
Yeah.
didn't get political about it, but at the end of the day, I just want people to know we are talking about the Switch, and this is a slop,
Yeah.
not for Nintendo, but for the fact our economy now
Yeah.
is we're entering a trade war, unfortunately, on the heels of a Switch, and that
Yeah,
sucks.
it's yeah, true. Yeah, it's not a political thing, it's an economic thing. It's
And
a money
and
discussion, not a political discussion.
and and sadly, it's become a political discussion a lot of times. People don't like people don't get the taking
The
the political
disconnect, the
side out of it.
separation. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there is a
strictly
separation there.
numbers. It's pure
Yeah,
math, pure economics.
and
Regardless of
it's
affiliation, it's just this is how numbers work.
if I was Nintendo, I'd be pissed. I'd be mad. I'd be like, "Are you
Same.
fucking kidding me?" We
Yeah,
just
me
had
too.
this huge, great announcement, and now it's being like they're
Undercut
probably
by yeah.
their office is probably on fire. I'd imagine. God damn it! What
Yeah.
do we do?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
So
dropping
that's
some nanis and desses for sure.
that concludes my props and slops for the Nintendo Switch. Now,
Okay.
again, everyone out there, I don't hate Nintendo. This is just from the announcement. I could talk about the game key card thing. That's kind of crazy. I wanted to talk about it, but here's my thing, right? I am not a physical gamer. I have all of my games now are all digital. I don't have a foot in the door here. I don't care about the secondhand market. I care for people to have a choice though. So like you can make a choice to steal a game if you want. That's great. I can make a choice to buy a game digital if I want. I feel like people should have a choice to buy physical if they want. Calling something physical in the game not being on the thing is diabolical to me. And so like
Yes.
that is a slop heavily
Well,
in my
I'll
opinion.
tell you this. I'll tell you this. Hear
Uh-huh.
me out.
Yeah.
As we know, I've been pretty vocal. I don't hide this. And in fact, I declare it pretty openly. Steal from companies, fuck them. Like, I just say that.
True.
Uh, I just
Allegedly.
say that, and it's fine.
Allegedly. Allegedly. I just want to throw the
Proven in
allegedly out
court,
there. Yes.
charged and prosecuted. Like I have openly said that a lot.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is this.
Yeah.
Take shit Lamau. and the reason I say it is because I think there are a lot of people who either, for whatever reason, I'm not going to say erroneously necessarily, but there are a lot of people who for some reason seem to think that there are like real versions of a game and fake versions of a game.
Sure. Okay.
Like, oh
Sure.
yeah, there's this like bootleg copy from the dollar store that I found at a flea market and blah blah blah. But that bootleg version we're talking about is like, the official real ROM just on an R4 card.
Sure. It's the same. It's like if you buy the digital or download the digital. Let's say if you want to watch Solo Leveling and you don't want to pay a
Right.
certain company to watch that, you might download a video file allegedly and put it on a Plex server allegedly, and that's fine.
True.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I don't care about people.
Right.
I'll say borrowing games because you can
Well,
downloading from
yes.
someone else. That's borrowing. That's not stealing. That's borrowing.
Especially
That's
if you
fine.
delete it later. But
yeah, that's fine. And I want to make this very clear. I love it. Do what you want to do. I just think there should be the choice that if someone wants to own it physically, from
Well,
first party
sure,
physically, I guess,
sure.
that they can own it and it's not a key
Well, no,
that
of
lets you
course.
download it.
That's not no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
that's not where I was going with it. What I'm saying is
Sure.
what I'm saying is,
Sure, sure, sure.
um, I would hope in the same way that the 3DS has R4 cards, like the R4 Gold and R4 Silver. I don't know if you're familiar.
I'm not
For the
familiar, but that's fine. Sure.
Yeah, for the audio listeners who don't know or whatever, so there's like a blank 3DS cart called an R4, and you can just put games on it, like a lot of them. Like it's like an SD card, but in the shape of a 3DS cart.
These aren't that.
No, I know that. I know.
Okay,
No, I'm
okay,
aware.
okay. Okay, okay.
I'm saying the Switch just needs that. Like, hey, R4 card guys, make a Switch R4 card, would you?
Sure. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like I don't like here's my thing.
Sure.
If you have a reproduction SNES game versus the one that came out in 1992 or whatever, who gives a fuck? If you can plug it into your Super Nintendo and hit power and play it, I don't care if it's on the right plastic or has the real screws. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
I
it's
agree.
got a sticker of Super Metroid on it and I can play Super Metroid, I don't know the difference. Fuck you. So
I
like
agree.
from that perspective, I don't care if there's a bunch of clove oil and bitter bullshit in the plastic for the cartridge so I lick it and it tastes bad. If
Sure.
it's an R4 card that holds 75 Switch games and I just have them in there and I can plug my shit in and play the games regardless of whatever Nintendo does, cool. You
Yes.
know? So if they make everything digital on like the back end, like, oh, Nintendo only does these game key cards that like it's like a pre-registered, you put it in and it automatically enables the download of some digital thing remotely, blah blah, whatever the game's on the cart. That's fine. I don't care about that. What I do care about is that someone come out with an R4 card immediately so that I can have a physical backup of that. I don't need the
Mm.
company to do it. You know what I mean? If the company doesn't
Sure.
do it, that's fine. I would prefer the company did it, but if they don't, I get whatever, it's fine. However, R4 card guys, hey, give me that Switch R4 card, would you?
Yeah,
Help
and I
me
think
out.
that's good. I think that's a good system, right? To
Yeah.
me, and I know you're not saying. I know. I'm. I want to make sure that for the audio listeners, not necessarily for you because you understand, but like what I'm saying, just to double down. This
Yes.
product is a $10, probably more now with the tariffs difference. So if you buy the digital, it will be cheaper. And then if you buy digital plus game key you put in your Switch, it will be more expensive. You're buying a digital game
Yeah.
more
Well, to be
expensively for
clear,
some reason.
I think anyone who
Capitalism.
buys those key card things, if it's not just for the novelty, you are a fool.
I think you're a fool if it's for the novelty. I'll be so for real. Why would you pay 10 to 15 to $20 more with taxes for a game that is literally a downloadable game? And
Oh,
this
well, that's
isn't
the
like,
novelty, right? It's just like to have the box
ugh,
on your shelf to look at because it's cute to display the
oh,
box.
that's,
Like you'd be buying the box at that point. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to have the box on a shelf as a display item.
could we just not download the art off Google and just make a box out of the
I'm so
paper?
glad you just said that because let me tell you, there's a bunch of Super Nintendo games that I wish I had the boxes for,
And
and
you
I
just
could
don't.
go buy those. I could go buy the boxes from some like collector who preserved them very
Please tell me you
nicely for a
printed them.
long time. Yeah, you could just go get the box art and print it, and I didn't do it yet, but like I could. No, I don't know the logistics. I don't know how you print on cardboard. Because I would want that to be like on the cardboard, not like a paper thing that I glue to the
Yeah.
cardboard. So I don't know the logistics of how that operates, but let me tell you, if I can just Google it real quick and start getting on that, you better believe
If
I'll make a reproduction box of every single one of my Super Nintendo games just to have it on a shelf to be like displayed and cute immediately. I don't give a fuck.
if I could be so real and so honest and listen, not judge moment right now. If you're buying a physical copy of a game that's not actually physical, Lamau, and just doing it for the case, you have an addiction and you need help. Because you're literally just burning money for no reason for a case. I could just give you all the cases back here. Audio listeners, I'm pointing to my Blu-ray collection. I can just give you one of these cases and I'll help you print the fucking art for it.
Yeah,
Well,
truly.
I'll just do that. Like,
Oh, well,
you're
yeah, it's
buying a
different
piece
for
of
those.
plastic. It is goofy. I know, but I'm just saying, like, we can use a torch and like make it small. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it.
No, 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 I mean to say, that's really funny. No, I mean to say, like,
You know what I mean?
Super Nintendo boxes, they don't really have, like, a
Oh,
paper
true.
insert. It's like the
Oh,
cardboard is the
yeah. I get that, but I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
saying,
yeah. But no, yeah, for
obviously,
these ones with the paper insert, you're
yeah.
so right.
So it's like I just feel like this is capitalism endgame. This is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this
Well,
isn't
yes,
like, and I think someone might say like, well, Sea Dog, what about like a
but the collectors.
game that comes with the cartridge and like the games on the cartridge, but you have to download DLC or shaders or something? I think that's different because the game's on the cartridge. If you need to do something, if there's a patch, I think it's different. Because back in the day, right, you and I could play a game and we didn't have to download the patch for it. We could just play the original game, and if it fucked up, we could be like, "Oh, I should have bought the patch or download the patch file for it." Nowadays, you can't buy a game that's a physical disc game and play it without the patch because it's all server side. So
It
Nintendo's
is all
basically
server side,
sold
yes.
you a server side game. So that means the key to this cartridge plugs into your system and has to connect to a server to say, authentic. And then you can play the game. You download it. So what happens when something in the cartridge dies? And I'm like, oh dang, now I can't play my fucking game. Then you're gonna wish you just downloaded it or digitally, because then you don't have this piece of shit like thing your dog ate or lying around, or your cat, or your fucking turtle, whatever.
Yeah,
Your
because those
goldfish,
keycard things, to be clear, when
you need them.
you take it out when you're done installing the game, you can't play it without the card in your system,
You
right?
have to keep the card in the system because that's the key to unlock the game. So you have the
Yes.
game downloaded, you cannot play it without the key card in the
Yeah.
system.
And my understanding is if you buy a secondhand one or you give it to your friend physically to hold, they can go and play it and download it and put it on their system also, but they also can't play without the key card, right? So you take the key card out of their system, put it back in yours, and all of a sudden they can't play that game anymore because they're not borrowing it anymore, right?
I don't want to speculate on that because we don't know. We don't have any of the key cards available. We know how they have said the system works. It's been confirmed, but that part hasn't been confirmed. So I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was confirmed, like the same, because they said you could lend the digital copy of a game. I thought they said it's the same for the key cards. Maybe they
I
didn't.
don't know. Polygon article I linked to you, I didn't remember seeing anything about that on that
Oh, okay.
article.
Oh, I see, I see,
So
I
I
see.
don't want to say right now while I was recording, yes, that's the thing. And then
Sure.
I lied. So I'm going to
It
say I
is
don't
really
know.
funny, the digital key cards, though, like this, the digital make 'em up cards that you loan your local friends.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I didn't talk about that originally because I didn't forget about it, but I was like, I don't want to bring that up. I mean, we're just gonna, it's not, you know what I mean? That's a fight waiting to happen. I don't know your thoughts on it.
Between
I thought
us?
it was between us. Yeah, I don't know
Oh,
because
really? Interesting.
I was gonna come out and say it was terrible, like a terrible idea. They should just do like a Steam library system.
I agree. I think it's better they
Okay.
have it than don't, but I think it should be different, though.
It's better they have it than don't, but they Nintendoized it. They made it worse.
Yeah.
They made a
Yeah,
system that
it's
should be
better they
easy
have it than
worse.
don't, but it should just
Yeah.
be like a, "Hey, these are the 4 accounts on my library thing, like, let them play
Yeah.
my shit."
Yeah. So that's it for
Yeah.
my Nintendo stuff. I think the Metroid game looked really fucking good. I'm so happy for you. Hopefully, fingers crossed,
I'm
it's
praying,
like
dude. Samus's new black and red suit with the purple visor, bro.
it looks
I
good.
don't
I don't
wanna
know
get
anything
too
about
crazy, but I almost nutted that shit's crazy. I was ready.
the camera pan. You could tell it wasn't like in game. You could tell like that might have been like a render or whatever, like
Sure, sure.
because that pan, I don't know if you saw like the slow pan. They used the character model like in front obviously to make it look, but that looked weird to me. So like I don't
I'll
think
tell
that
you
was like
what,
on system, but it looked good.
I think it was.
You
And
think it
my
was
reasoning for
slowed
that,
down maybe?
well, my reasoning for speculating that is because that was a hallmark of the first 3 Metroid Prime games.
Okay.
Like, when you get to a new area it like zooms the camera out and like shows you the fucking, then it like zooms back to Samus or
So
whatever.
so they do like a Assassin's Creed kind of pan out, jump down the thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah. Like the first time you go to like the Talon ruins or like the Chozo
sure.
ruins
Okay,
in Talon 4, like it'll be like and like it'll be like a camera pan around and then it'll like snap back to the
sure.
first
So
person.
that was more of like a old school Prime heads will like this sort of
Right.
like
Yeah.
not
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Because as not a Prime head, I looked at that going, oh, did they just add like a CGI type vibe to the trailer and like add this in?
No,
That's
yeah.
kind of
I think
Okay, that's
that's
cool.
just Retro Studios doing Retro Studio shit and trying to give like old
Cool.
Prime heads like a thing. I
Yeah,
think.
hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I think the Donkey Kong game looks kind of cool too. Donkey
I
Kong
thought it
game
was
looks kind
Donkey
of
Kong
tight.
Jr. I guess it's just Donkey Kong adult. Crazy. Didn't realize.
You know,
He's got pants on.
I'm not a huge knower of the classic
Oh, the
Nintendos,
Kongs. Sure.
but he did not look like Donkey Kong the way I know him looking like. So yeah,
Yeah, he
it
had like
did
the
look like a
black,
grown up.
like the
Yeah.
shadows under his eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
Little
Interesting. I
diff.
mean, he looks good. I mean, everything in
Yeah,
the game looked
love
really
it.
cool. The destructible environment puzzle thing they showed looked kind of neat where he has to
He's like
dig
digging up the stuff.
underground and like go under. That's kind of tight.
I can't believe they killed him at the
Kirby,
end of the trailer.
true.
They
Kirby's
dropped a
dead
rock
too.
on his head.
They turned Kirby into a fleshlight. That was kind of crazy. You saw
I know what you're talking about too. Yeah, where he inhales the two guys and turns into the spring, but it's like a shake weight. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Pokemon Arceus, whatever.
No, Legends ZA.
Legends ZA, whatever.
Arceus was
Legends.
the last one.
Yeah, fucking ZA. Yeah. ZA does make sense to me now. I did see the I wanted to
Yeah,
get more information of understanding why it's ZA, and I understand now that it's literally like you're going through and like Battle City style Yu-Gi-Oh, going
yeah. You're
through
a
and like
rank Z
collecting the
trainer
cards. You're like
trying to.
collecting the ranks. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
You're
star
like
chipping it
going up
out.
through the rank. Yeah.
Yep.
What else did I see that was interesting?
B4 coming to Switch 2, kind of tight. Borderlands 4.
I will say I think they missed the mark in one thing: the
Oh yeah.
GameCube showcase. The
Oh
fact
really?
they just had a blockbuster movie come out, do crazy gangbusters, and they didn't think to put Sonic Adventure 2 in that bitch is crazy.
Brother, I said the same fucking thing. Sonic Adventure 2 Battle not being in
Yeah.
there is crazy.
I saw that and I was like, surely they're gonna end with like, bam, Sonic. And I know it's not like their biggest franchise, but
I think
like
there's got to be a legal
GameCube,
aspect.
probably, I'd imagine. But even if I was Sega, I'd be like, why wouldn't we want this there?
Well, no, that's not what I mean. It's
Oh,
like Square Enix has no okay, so like Square Enix is a fusion of two companies, Squaresoft and Enix from the 90s.
okay,
They like merged
sure,
together to make Square Enix.
okay,
Um but Chrono Trigger I believe is a Squaresoft game pre-merger
sure.
or
So
an
you're
Enix game,
saying,
I forget which. But right now Square Enix doesn't have the rights to use Chrono Trigger for anything because like the
okay,
legal teams involved at the time are like the way the companies merge and like some parties aren't there anymore and some are but they still hold rights and blah blah blah.
okay, yeah, I
I
get that.
wonder
Yeah,
if like the really early 2000s Sega had like some involvement with like Sony side and Sony still has some leftover rights to games developed under the time frame. You know what I mean? So they might not have access to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle because of like some legal hang up from a third party company that was like no like cuz Nintendo owns Sega now, but like they don't necessarily own everyone who was involved in the production of the games in the early 2000s.
even if the game came out on their console, because
Yeah,
Adventure 2 came
afraid
out
so.
on GameCube.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
However,
interesting. Yeah.
well, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was an enhanced port of a Dreamcast game. Sonic Adventure 2 is a Dreamcast game.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, and Sonic Adventure 2 Battle is like the hey, it's the same game but a little nicer and it has multiplayer
You
versus
know,
mode, baby.
too, Adventure's already on PC anyway, so they're probably like, who cares?
By the way, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on Steam has permanently locked inverted controls for the camera in the
I
Chow
can't play
Garden
it. Yeah,
only.
and hardware
The fuck?
acceleration, something's going on. Which last time I tried to play it, I just couldn't play it.
Yeah, because it was paying like 45,000 FPS and it was like
Yeah,
too fast. Because it only
yeah.
works in full screen.
Even in full screen, I couldn't play it. Unfortunately,
That's
something was
crazy.
like really weird. Maybe it was a bug or something when it came out. Because I have it. I
No, it's
have
still doing
Adventure
it.
2. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah, because Beba installed it and
That's
tried to make
unfortunate.
it work. And I had to like go in and like tell her to change some stuff and like change an INI file and download a third party thing, blah blah blah, frame
Yeah.
capper or whatever. And
Because here's my
eventually we
thing
got it
too.
to work in full screen, but if it's windowed, it's still playing at like 45,000 FPS.
I'm not a Sonic head, but I am a Chow head through and through. I
Same.
would play my best friend Nick. You know, talk about him a lot with WoW and stuff. He had a great Chow garden. I would come over on the weekends.
Oh, would you do the
I would
karate battles and
play.
races?
Oh no, I would chuck his chows everywhere. I'd like pick one up and just chuck it,
Oh my
and then it would
god.
get, then they get upset like when you do stuff like that. They like
Yeah.
it hurts them. It hurt, and then he got really mad at me once because he had this really like the light chow where you like love it all the time and it like becomes light and good, and I turned it dark. I took his
Yeah,
light chow and I
so
made it evil. Not evil, but
yeah.
like,
Well,
you
no, I
know,
know what you mean. Dark
yeah,
aligned.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because if a good character is nice to a Chow, it becomes good. If it's bad to a Chow, it becomes bad. But if a dark character is good to a Chow, it becomes bad. And if it's
Excuse me.
bad to a like if you were to use Shadow to throw them around, they'd become light.
Yeah, and then I would feed him the dark crayons, the black crayony things. And I think that also
I
dark
know what you
aligns them
mean.
more,
That's
right?
really funny. Yeah.
Or they're like gems, but they look like crayons. You know what I
I
mean?
know what you mean, yeah.
I used to
Yeah,
call
the
them
little dark
crayons.
fruits. Yeah.
Yeah, the like the long
Mhm.
elongated. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
call
yeah,
them
yeah.
crayons. Yeah,
They do
and
kind of
they're
look
like
like
4
crayons, to be
pixels.
clear.
Yeah, I mean,
They look like crayons.
yeah, it sucks that it's not on there. You would think that they would want Sonic everywhere, even if it is a legal team issue, they would just be like,
Yeah.
guys, look, fuck off. We want to make money off this property. Get everyone their shares, whatever. Like make
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing
yeah.
happen. Um, but you said you also had some stuff, and I don't want to. I don't want to take up. I don't want to take space
No, you're doing so
and
good.
only talk about my stuff because I know you had some stuff you wanted to bring up.
Well, I'll
That I
tell you
want
what,
to.
there's just some stuff that I thought was missing. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm
Sure,
getting ahead of myself.
sure,
I think the Hall effect sticks being potentially there takes away one of my potential slops or whatever, like gives me some hope. I think that's cool.
sure. Okay.
Like that was a big one for me, was like the Hall effect sticks need to be in there. Otherwise, like what the fuck are we doing? Cause I already know I'm gonna have to go buy new sticks on Amazon and bust those bitches open and like do surgery to replace the stick in like 6 months, and that's annoying.
Yeah, yeah.
Not looking forward to that. So I hope they're Hall effect or just that they work. But yeah, I mean we covered a lot of the stuff. I think people complaining about the price point of the games are so fucking goofy. Nintendo is so fucking greedy. That is silly to me. I'll be honest,
The
that's fucking
only
silly.
Yeah, I don't have the price of the game is going to be the price of the game plus whatever tariff gets put on it now. So $80 we were looking at might be 90 or 100 depending on where it's made.
No,
But
90
like
physical, 80 digital, no?
well that was before the tariffs were announced. I don't know where the games are
No,
produced.
they won't put tariffs on a digital good.
Well, it's not digital if it's physical.
Well, yeah, but that would be the physical price going up, not the
So
digital
like
price.
$80
80 digital
what I'm
and then
saying physical
unknown
might be
physical, right?
100, who knows, like
Yeah, 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 yeah. But like
but
the 80
probably not
digital,
digital.
I don't think that's unreasonable. And the reason I say that is because like we were paying $80 for a Super Nintendo game in 1995.
Yeah.
So like everyone can
Divorced
suck my
of
dick
that.
complaining about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like when you put it that way, I agree. But when we look at like the norms of the industry, they are these days. I'm not talking about like the old days, but I'm talking about like these days. 69.75 is kind of pushing it right now. And I think it's interesting. Here's what I'll say. I agree, but then what I'm gonna say might trigger you, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think I've
Um,
ever been triggered, but I hear you. It's funny.
well, it might elicit a response that's like "fuck you," maybe.
Sure, sure, sure,
Um,
sure. Don't call
I
me Unk right now.
think
I swear to God.
no.
Okay, go ahead.
um, I think that my only issue is the pricing difference between the digital and the physical, even though the physical is basically a digital product. And then
Oh,
with
well,
the
no, that is stupid.
digital, I think this might be triggering for some people. I don't think you should price Nintendo games at a price that you would price like a PlayStation or Xbox game at.
I agree.
Um,
They should be more expensive. They're better.
yeah. I was gonna go the other way, a
Oh,
little
ah,
cheaper,
oh, I see.
because the scopes on Nintendo games aren't as um. What do I want to say? I want to say this in an elegant way. I think Nintendo games, like for their first party, what you would
First party
consider
Nintendo
like
games.
first party Nintendo games, I feel like they lean more on the double A side than a triple A game side. So I don't think they should charge triple A game prices.
I
Like,
don't know what that means, literally. Like the classification of double and triple A. I actually don't know what that entails.
yeah. So I was kind of avoiding this because I don't want to get into
Like I don't know
like
how to
the
comment on
debate.
that either way because I don't know what that even
Yeah.
means.
So like when a AAA game comes out, it's like you think of a AAA game of like your new Assassin's Creed or your new um large Far Cry or something similar. It's a very large game. Red Dead Redemption 2, a um Grand Theft Auto game, some other big developing games like you would consider like an Anno title to be a AAA game, or the newest edition of an IP like Sid Meier's Civilization to be a AAA game. And I feel like, obviously, I don't want to get into semantics. This last Civilization game was kind of trash that came out. They shouldn't have come out so soon, but
Yeah.
usually they're AAA games. So I think that the amount of content you get out of those games justifies usually the price. There are outliers, but usually it justifies the price that they're at now. I don't think Nintendo games usually justify it being linked to that AAA price
See,
of
because I always
like,
thought the triple A thing just meant not indie, like made by a larger studio.
so
I thought that
there's
was the sole
indie.
classification of that.
I think there's multiple classifications because there's like single A, which doesn't get talked about because you sound stupid when you say single A, but there's like double A games, triple A games.
Yeah, I've never heard of single or double ever. I thought it was
Um,
triple A and indie. I've never heard of.
because like,
Although I
a
will say that
game
quadruple A game, the fucking pirate boat one,
goofy as fuck.
Lamau.
I think we can both agree it's dumb as fuck,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
And they knew that too. I think they kind of knew they were fucked on that when they said that. Xbox has also been on the board of saying they want to make the first quadruple A game, and it dumb as fuck in my opinion.
Lamau. Lamau.
Um, in like, I don't know in exact terms what every detail of a triple A
Sure,
game would be,
sure.
but I know that things are called AAA games, and so I'm not gonna like try to rewrite what it is and what it isn't. I know like an Assassin's Creed is called a AAA game. I know these games that I've listed are called AAA games.
That's so interesting
So
to me.
yeah, no, like it's definitely just made up smoke water or whatever. I get it. Like, but I think that they one thing they all do is revolve around the same price point.
Sure. Yeah,
And
sure.
so a Nintendo game being priced at that point, I think is crazy. And I've always thought this way. I'm not like coming out of the woodworks and like being weird about it just right now because of Switch 2 or whatever. I think that in general, I've always thought like a Pokemon game was way overpriced than what it should be. And don't get me wrong, I think there's going to be people sitting in their chair going like, well, yeah, because the price everything should be is free. I get it. I shouldn't have to
That's
pay for media.
really funny.
You know what I mean? I get it. But if we're talking about like, you know, capitalism, we live in a capitalistic world, so we have to pay for things. I think that a game like a Nintendo handheld game, like let's say like if the Game Boy was still popular and like the 3DS2 was out and they create a new 3DS2 title, I don't think that game should be the same price as a AAA console game. Right, like
Wait, say what?
$80 for I don't think it like if the Game Boy 2 was out, like the Game Boy 3DS2 was out, I don't think a 3DS2 title should be $80, the same as like a crazy AAA console game.
They're
And I don't
not.
think the price point. No, I'm not. I'm saying if the 3DS2 doesn't exist is what I'm saying, right? So I'm saying if that was
Oh, I thought you
happening,
meant the new 3DS.
I didn't know there was a new 3DS. I'm
Like
just
the one literally called capital NTM new 3DS.
Oh, that's weird. That's goofy. I swear I haven't heard of any of that.
I thought you were literally talking about a thing
No,
that actually.
no,
I
I'm just
see, I
talking
see,
about
I
like a
see.
theoretical new 3DS and it was called 3DS2 or something. I'm not
No,
talking about like
yeah, because there is a system after 3DS called the new 3DS.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a theoretical if something was just
Oh,
coming out and trying to price point itself at the same
sure,
price
sure,
point
sure,
as
sure,
like
sure,
a
sure.
console AAA game. So when I look at a Switch 2 game, they're great games. They look good. I just don't think they should be priced at that price point.
That's
That's
so
fine.
fascinating.
I'll buy one, I guess, if like the next Animal Crossing game comes out. I might buy it because I like Animal Crossing, or I might procure it in a different way that might not lend itself to
Well,
money being
now,
exchanged, but like I might
sure.
borrow it, allegedly. But you know what I mean? Like I
I
don't
get what you're
think
saying, but I've
it
always thought
lends
it
its
backwards.
price.
I think
Yeah, I
because
don't
because I think that like for example,
agree.
I see you and me. It sounds like we have similar but opposite takes on pricing, and I feel like I'm the one that has to worry about my takes being triggering actually, because I think probably a lot of people agree with you. I think almost no one agrees with me. Because like I think of Assassin's Creed and I think of like bargain bin schlock for idiots.
Some Assassin's Creed games are bad. Some are good.
Like
I would
I
depend,
think of
right?
like when I think of like Elder Scrolls, I'm like, oh yeah, that should be in like a discount bin for $20 at Walmart. And I know that because that's what it was when I bought Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. It was in a $20 discount bin at a Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, and I got 10,000 hours out of that. But I promise you, it was just loosely thrown into a metal bin. Same thing with like if I'm thinking of like um I'm trying to think of another like game like that, like the on the PlayStation, I guess specifically. I don't know even know what's exclusive to PlayStation anymore, but
Like
um
exclusive to PlayStation, like a Spider-Man game. You have
right,
what's their
yeah, like
other big one? Like
that Spider-Man game that
Call
literally
of
should be $30.
War, Call of War, whatever.
Call God of War.
God of War, yeah.
Yeah, that's just random beat 'em up schlock bullshit titles that I can't even consider real games for the most part. Like even
Yeah,
the
but
new
like
God of War, I've watched people play the newest one, like with the talking head, like the new one. People are like,
sure.
"Dog, what a fucking masterpiece!" I'm like, "Dog, this is Dynasty Warriors with less dudes. This is bullshit. This is mash the button. This is crazy."
Yeah, you have an interesting take. I don't think I can agree, but
Yeah,
that's fine. Friends
and
cannot
like,
agree
"Oh, but the
sometimes.
story," and I'm like, oh, "Fuck the story, whatever, dude."
Oh, well, see,
Like
you just don't
that.
like story stuff.
I love story stuff. I just think
Then
that one's
why?
stupid.
Oh, well, that's just, well, okay. Well, now you're just,
But I'm talking about mechanically though.
that's,
Like that game mechanically is unimpressive. I think PlayStation games are almost uniquely sold with poor gameplay and poor design, and they rely entirely on graphical fidelity to trick idiots.
um,
And I think that take probably makes a lot
okay.
of people very upset.
Well,
For sure.
so
And that's
here's my
fine, but
stance. I don't
yeah.
know anything about God of War. I've only seen people play it. The gameplay looks interesting. I've never played it though. It's never. Even back in the day when I was a kid, I didn't think God of War was cool. Spider-Man, however, I don't think I agree. I don't think you necessarily explicitly said this.
Yeah,
But if
yeah, yeah.
you're, I don't think it's a dumb beat 'em up game, and I think it's um I think its combat mechanics are kind of cool. It's kind of different.
Possibly.
It's yeah. I think because I've played and beat both Miles Morales and um the first game that came out for the PlayStation 4.
Sure,
And
sure,
if
sure,
I
sure.
had money, I would have played and beat two. So I can't speak on two. I'm not speaking about two. But the two that I've played, very worth the money for sure. And actually, Miles Morales isn't like a huge AAA game. It was actually not, at least on Steam, a $80 game or a $70 game. It was actually like I think 50 or 60 because it actually is a smaller in scope game, and they don't hide that.
Which Spider-Man was it that had that thing where people were like taking the pride flags out as a mod and it was like a thing? They're
Every
like changing
game
every pride
that's
flag to an American flag or some
yeah.
shit like that.
Well,
Was that
if you
Spider-Man 2?
know, in one of the barrios, there is a street that is notorious in like the gay community, and so it wasn't like I know exactly what you're speaking about, and it's people just being assholes.
No,
This
I'm just wondering which game that was. I'm trying to
both of
remember
them
which.
because the street
Oh,
exists
really?
in every Spider-Man. So Spider-Man
Oh,
is based in the city,
yeah,
right?
right, yeah.
It's based in the same city, New York, and that street exists everywhere. So it wasn't. It was Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and one, and I think two that just came out because it's all in the same city, and that mod exists in every situation, right? Because people hate that community, and
True, sure. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
street is just a part of the community, has had a lot of like relevance in the community, and is
Oh, and
decorated
those
like
games are
that
trying
usually in real
to
life.
like, and so those games are trying to replicate and pay honor to that by having that neighborhood in the. That's
Ye-
tight.
Yeah, because that
Cool.
neighborhood exists. It's not like a neighborhood that doesn't exist,
Love that.
and Spider-Man doesn't exist in a fake New York. It exists in like a
In
real
like New
life. Like
York, New York.
it's not
Yeah.
like you see a Spider-Man movie and the Twin Towers happen to be there still. Exists in real New York.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So um that street, that barrio, I think they call their neighborhoods like barrios or whatever, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
boroughs. Then that borough, that street, that neighborhood is very prolifically like for the gay community and LGBT and all that. So there's flags everywhere. So they had a
Cool.
mod that remove all the flags in that neighborhood and
That's
like
crazy.
change the spray painting. Because if you look, there's a lot of art as well. Like either
Sure.
NPCs actually spray painting in active, like
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
their schedule, or just like spray painting up and about. And there was a lot of stuff they just wanted to get rid of, and so they made a mod for that. And I think, you know, I don't want to say something controversial, but if they feel that strongly about it and they want to make a mod for it, all right, sure, go ahead. You know,
Sure. I mean, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. No
they're
need to
gonna
get
do what they
mad
want
about
to
it.
do. Yeah. So like
Like
that's
the
all the
best way to
games.
protest
So
that is just not
yeah.
download the mod. Fuck them.
Yeah, so
But
that's any Spider-Man game that exists in New York that's been done for the PlayStation 4 and 5 has had that
sure.
same issue.
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha.
So
But like, yeah, I
presumably
like.
one Miles Morales and two.
Interesting. And yeah, I'd be willing to hear you out on the combat for those for sure. But yeah, Jet like because I've played, I might have procured the new Call of God of War, Call of War. I procured the new God of War. I dabbled. You know what I mean? I
Sure.
poked around, we'll say.
Yeah.
And I've watched a bunch of people play it. Same with the. I haven't myself held the controller for Assassin's Creed Greece, whichever that one is, the Roman one or Greek one.
Origins Valhalla and what's the other one?
You know the one I'm talking about.
I'm
Audio listeners,
pulling
he's
it.
lost in thought. He's deeply thinking. He's going through the recesses of his mind.
Origins is in Egypt. Odyssey is in
Yes,
Greece, which is
Odyssey.
notoriously also a weird one you bring up because that's the least Assassin's Creed game. Because you don't even have a hidden blade in that one. It's a it's
I'm
a
glad you said that.
prequel. It's a strong prequel, actually. So Origins, if you could imagine, Origins talks about the creation of the Brotherhood, and that's really cool. And you actually play as Bayek, who becomes one of the first like precursor Brotherhood members. And then Odyssey is actually the, if you could imagine, the pre Brotherhood. And the foundations of that Brotherhood isn't even set up in the main game. So
Yeah,
you
right.
don't even play. And honestly, probably I can say one of my least favorite Assassin's Creed games. It's a good game. It's not an Assassin's Creed game though. It's
Yeah,
a game.
it seems
It's an
not
open
like that.
world Grease game, and they put the name Assassin's Creed on it, but it's not Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
but yeah. Anyway, you're gonna say that like the combat wasn't great in that.
Well, I watched the gameplay. I like saw the story unfold. I've seen a couple of full playthroughs from friends on Twitch, and then,
Sure.
I've played Assassin's Creeds, the older ones.
Oh, so like the first trilogy, you
Like
would say, or like Black
like
Flag.
I think I played 2, 3 in Brotherhood.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I know those
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the whole time I was thinking, wow, these are shit. But I played them
Okay.
because a friend of
Oh,
mine was really pushing me to play the Assassin's Creeds at the time. They're like, no, I insist. If you didn't like last one, try
sure.
this one. Oh, well, surely you'll like this one. Like, so
Mm,
I played through the Brotherhoods and I was like, wow, story bad, gameplay bad. These are bad games. They're bad and ugly. These are stupid games. And then when I was watching Odyssey, I was like, wow, this is a mess. This is just a dumb, messy game. This is
hmm.
bad.
Because I
Uh,
played all
like
three
the
of the
menus
new
didn't look
ones.
great. The connectivity in Brotherhood was
Oh,
really bad.
oh, I'll fucking tell you the fucking yeah. No, Odyssey's menus fucking
The
awful.
menus in Odyssey
You
were horrendous.
you know what's crazy though? So I don't know if you know this. Ubisoft has I think 3 studios that work on Assassin's Creed interchangeably. So one could be working on the newest one, AC Shadows, and then back in the day, another one would be working on the next game. So Valhalla, for
Right,
instance,
yeah,
like two
of
separate
course.
teams working
Pokemon
on
does
it.
that too,
Sure.
more or
And
less.
so it's crazy because Odyssey has one of the best cameras in this franchise as far as like scripting for like conversations and stuff. And it was funny because Valhalla, different team using a different version of the engine, didn't have that camera technique in it. So
Oh, I see.
basically, they made a worse game, but not because it was a bad team. They just didn't have the same tools as the people making
Yeah,
uh
that happens in
graphically
Pokemon
better
all the
product.
time.
It's kind of
Yes.
funny, isn't it?
It's really
And
weird.
this is interesting too, because I'm kind of a you know me, I'm kind of a geek when it comes to like systems. And Assassin's Creed, the engine they're using now, it's really cool. They have you might turn your head like a dog whenever I say it, but they have a cloud-based engine. Now you hear
Okay.
cloud-based and you go, that's shit. But it's cool because what they can do is whenever they're working on the engine, hear me out, right? They could have three different dev teams working on 3 different games,
Yeah.
and they can update the engine at the same time.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
basically, all the games can be using the same version of the engine and be using the same mechanics the engine uses for the different games, and they can make them more uniform in real time.
That's cool.
It's really cool, and that's kind of what they're toting for this new Assassin's Creed trilogy they're working on. Shadows, Hexe, and I think it's Red. Shadows, Hexe, and Red. I think, or there's another game that's not. It doesn't have a name yet, but it's like a code name. I think it's Shadows, Hexe, and Red or something. And these 3 games are going to be using this engine that can be updated at the same time for all of the devs. And it's really cool.
Okay.
Also, shout out to Shadows for being a better game than everyone thought it would be. Good on them for like, you know, holding the game. But anyway,
I've only seen a little gameplay from Olivia so far on that one. I haven't really like dove in,
yeah.
but
Well, sure.
seems fine.
No, it's actually really cool. They went back to like I won't, this isn't the Assassin's Creed podcast or anything, but I do Assassin's Creed is one of the for better or worse, one of the IPs I really love. It's had a lot of bad games. I mean, we can think of one off the top of my head, which was Syndicate. Fucking trash.
Really, just awful, eh?
Oh, came out in just it was like a car crash, 8 car
Oh,
pileup. It was bad.
yuck.
Yucky. Um,
Stinky.
Origins was really good, and then I thought the combat in because I beat all 3, so I beat Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I think Origins was probably the best game out of all of them in that trilogy, for different reasons. I think I don't see what you're seeing about the combat in Odyssey because I think it had the best combat, but I think it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game. And so that's kind of hard for me. I would have liked more stealthy options. Like Hidden Blade's my favorite thing, my tool to use when
Yeah,
I'm
I was
playing
watching it,
Assassin's
I was
Creed.
expecting, like, stealth
Yeah,
assassinations and shit, and it
not
was really just
Odyssey.
walk up to enemy, hit sword.
Yeah, not Assassin's Creed. And so I kind of knock Valhalla differently for that because you do get the Hidden Blade back in Valhalla, but it's weird because you're a Viking. So I expect you to be breaking down doors and being a fucking brute and not using a hidden blade, but then he does use a hidden blade. So, and then it's set in a terrible setting for Assassin's Creed game where everything's just like level flat to the ground and there's nothing to climb on. So it doesn't really
Yeah.
like again, I'm an Assassin's Creed
Oh,
fan, but
no.
I see these issues,
Yeah.
but I don't think the combat was bad. And I think if it was wrapped around an actual Assassin's Creed game, that game would have been really good. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, I wish I had clips to show you because the actual combat system was kind of cool if you use a controller, which you do.
In Valhalla, you mean?
Um, in Valhalla and Odyssey, yeah, because they use the same attack system. But again,
I see.
you know what I mean. I do agree with you though. It isn't. It does not feel like Assassin's Creed, and I
Yeah,
can
because I
understand you
watched those
going like, "This is
games.
fucking garbage."
Yeah, because I like, again, I've watched a couple of playthroughs of Odyssey, not that this is an Odyssey specific point, mind you, this is just,
Sure, you just in
when I see,
general the
like,
IP. Yeah.
well, just like when I see PlayStation games, and I'm trying to, like, I'm trying to, delineate between games across every console, obviously, because that's
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not
For
really what
sure.
we're talking about. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of, like, games that are, like, exclusive to Xbox or exclusive to PlayStation. And I know God of
Yeah.
War comes up and, these things. And, when I see these games, I'm just so not I'm like, "What was this? Ugh."
Yeah. I think
Um,
I have that same feeling unironically whenever whenever we were talking about Pokemon, for instance,
right,
in
yeah.
the
Yeah, same point,
look
but,
at
like,
me
opposite,
being
like, same but
the
backwards.
guy who brings up Pokemon in the podcast. Funny. But yeah, kind of the same thing of like from the outside looking in, I could say, yeah, Pokemon doesn't really look like it has much going on. It looks like a dumb kid game, like when I said it in movie night that one night.
Yeah, and from a
But
one-player
then
experience, I agree with you, to be clear. It is a dumb
yeah,
kid game.
but then you were talking about hold on, I know the game because I looked at it after we talked about it. Black and White, right? Black and White has like the gritty story, kind of like the grittier story for a Pokemon game. So I feel
Yeah,
like,
religious cults and, like,
sure, yeah.
yeah.
And so that's cool. Like when Pokemon does something like that, that's neat. When a company does something different like that, I like that. That's cool. Um, so like from the outside looking in, I could see how it looks like it's a mess because you didn't go through the tutorial. You don't know the tool set, so you're looking at it and it looks like a jumbled mess, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" I get that. Um, but I can disagree with the Assassin's Creed thing. Don't know much about God of War.
It was
If
just
I'm being
mash X
honest,
a lot.
God of War does seem like a mash X thing. At least with Assassin's Creed, you had different. So Assassin's Creed had
Yeah.
like, if you could imagine, um, I think the last couple games used like constellation systems, so it had like different
Mm.
constellations as like a. I
Hey, I
mean,
know
it's
this
just
from
a
Genshin.
okay, sure, and it had as like its skill tree. And so you go down different constellations, get like fire 3 arrows at once, kind of multi-shot,
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like do their own thing. And so you could mix and match a lot of different ranged and melee skills that were actually very different depending on the weapons you use. And it was actually a really cool mix and match system that made you feel unique to yourself. Like, sure, you're playing this character that's not something you could just make up and like be like, I'm playing X character that I made up. But you're playing Alexios, at least in Odyssey, but you could play him with the skill tree in a way that was different from like if you made Alexios and played him.
Versus if you made Alexios.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
my Alexios could be more of a heavy attacker. You could do like double knives and da 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 da. You could change up stuff. And so a lot of the old Assassin's Creed games couldn't really do that. It was more linear. It was more you do this because this is Assassin's Creed. And so I
Right.
can definitely understand the old your grievances with like the old trilogy, because I kind of have that same grievance. But I think if you actually sat down and like kind of played through um not like second-handedly or like as a one shot, but like sat down and like got to see the story of Odyssey, you
Well,
might enjoy it a little
oh,
more.
Odyssey specifically. Hmm.
I
Which system
wouldn't
is
tell
that
you to
for?
play Valhalla because the first one was Origins, which was a really good one as well.
Which system is or Odyssey on? Is that PS4?
Uh, PC on all of them.
Oh, okay, cool. So I can just yoink it and try it out.
Yeah, yeah, those were same day PC on all of them. Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
They're not like
yeah, and they're
ports or
all on.
whatever.
No, no, not ports. No, no, no.
Oh, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I
The
mean, I'll
PlayStation
hear you out. I'll
ones
give it a
are
try.
ports.
Oh,
The
okay, got
PlayStation
it.
ones are ports. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to enjoy the system. I don't know if you like combat
But I might
styles like
have
that.
more respect for it. You mean, like
But if you
regardless
want
of
to play
enjoyment?
a Noel like character, you can use a shield and sword. You can do other things. You can mix and match, especially in Origins. Very huge sword shield gameplay on that one.
I do like Big Donk Sword.
So
I
you
do
could
like
do
Big
that.
Donk Sword.
Um,
But I mean,
and then I
I
feel like
famously
ranged
have
characters.
like anti Elden Ring takes too. You know, famously. I played that game three
Well,
times on
yeah,
stream to completion. I beat that game 3 times in 3 ways, and I have
yeah,
some
that would be
pretty
dangerous for
heavy.
us because I also I also just don't like Souls like games. I've been on record of
Yeah. And people say the same
having
kind
some
of stuff of
takes.
like, no, but if you build the tarnish versus I build the tarnish is totally different because the type of skills you use in the weapon, it's so
Oh,
diff. And
interesting.
then like,
I actually don't dislike it for that reason. I have a totally different dislike reason.
oh, interesting. Why don't you like
Yeah.
Elden Ring?
So specifically Souls like games. I don't like Souls like games because it's just masochist. It's just a game for masochists. You just if you hate yourself, you play them
That's
because it's
so
hard
fascinating. Because
and
my take
you
on Elden Ring is that it's a baby game. It's like Fisher Price. It's so silly. Like you'll die a lot or whatever, but you won't die because it's hard.
well, you also have played a lot of other Souls like games, right?
I've played 1 and 3.
So I feel like, hear me out. Now, I
Dark
came
Souls
from
1 and
it
3, I
from a
mean.
standpoint of not playing Dark Souls. That Elden Ring was my first Souls like game. If we don't count like the Jedi games, Jedi Survivor or whatever, it is technically a Souls like because it has a fucking whatever Jedi thing you sit down at and it acts as the bonfire
Yeah,
or
and then you
whatever.
die and it drops your
Yeah,
Jedi
but
points or whatever, you go pick them up.
it's not a Souls like game. It's an RPG and it has a face mask on and
I'm
that game is baby mode. That game is baby mode. I beat that game, no problem. And I don't play Souls like games. I think that game is baby
sure.
mode.
Well,
I would
I'm inclined to agree.
disagree. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I don't think Elden Ring is a baby game. I played it on hard. I didn't play it on medium or easy. I played it on hard. I put the desk you see behind me. A chat
Yeah,
might not see it, or
yeah.
obviously the audio listeners won't. There's a hole in that
Audio
desk.
listeners, you might not see it.
There's a hole in
True.
that desk because I took my controller to it
Oh no.
during a boss fight in Elden Ring. And look, I'm saying I get it, skill issue. Probably skill issue.
Get it, skill issue. Well,
Um
no, what I mean is like, hear me out. Hear me out.
yeah, yeah, hear me out. I'm hearing you.
Elden Ring is devised in the same way as Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. Um, to
Okay.
kill you a lot in
Yes.
unpredictable, unfair ways that you wouldn't know about.
Yes.
That as soon as you know about them, you will not die to them anymore.
If you're a Dark Souls fan, yes.
No, 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 just in general. I'll give you an example of what I mean, because you're thinking of a thing that it's not what I'm talking about.
Sure,
I'll
sure,
give you an
sure.
example from Dark Souls 1.
Okay.
There is an area, and Dark Souls players will know what I'm talking about. If you're not a Dark Souls player, you can imagine. There's an area where the camera is like kind of finicky, sure, and you're on a bridge, and if you fall off the bridge, you die. It's like, well, it's not even a bridge, but it's like a walkway, as it were. But you're kind of up, and if you fall, you die. And there are like enemies that are like ghosts that will claw at you through the ceiling and the floor and knock you off the side and you die. And they're kind of hard to see because they're like through the thing and like the camera's sort of shitty. So you'll just be walking, da 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 da. Next thing you know, bonk, you'll catch a claw in the head, fall, and you're dead. You will now never die to that claw again. Because it's not like a challenge to now you just know, oh, there's a claw there. You know what I mean? And it does that all the time. Not that literal thing, but that kind of death
Like that jump
constantly.
scary, kind of like you should have just knew it was there
Well,
type
even
vibe.
on that bridge, it does like 7 of them.
Sure.
So, like, let's say you're like, oh, what a claw, how stupid, and you just dodge it and it's fine. You'll get hit by the second one, fall and die.
Okay.
And you get hit by the third one and fall and die. And you get hit by the
Okay.
fourth one and fall and die.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, so sequentially, I've never died to this same thing twice. Cool. And that'll happen constantly. And it's not because there's like a hard mechanic of it or like a high learning curve of don't get hit in the head. It's just we want to make you die a lot because most casuals will become very frustrated when they die and they'll perceive it as hard. Is this a hard game because you die a lot? And it's like, well, no, you just kind of startled me, I guess, Lamau, and then I go about my day with no real consequence.
I
You know?
in that, like when you talk about that specific mechanic, sure,
Like that kind
but
of
like the
thing, yeah.
boss fights are not what you would generally say is like a normal game boss fight.
I'll tell you what, to your credit, to your benefit as a gamer, as an individual,
Sure,
even though I'm saying Elden Ring is a baby game, Elden Ring is the least fair Dark Souls game for boss fights. And
it
what I
is
mean
very
by that,
unfair. Yeah,
and what I mean by that is that Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, enemies have actions, and you're supposed to watch the action and use the dodge roll to react and be invincible and punish or whatever. Elden Ring input reads you. Like they'll like hold an attack in the air for a variable amount of time. And then when you hit roll, they input read your roll, and that's when they swing to punish your
it's
roll.
not a scripted game. It is most
Yeah,
boss fights
that
are.
happens very frequently.
Yeah,
So,
and some normal enemies do that too, and it's frustrating.
yeah. So it'll like bait you into doing a thing. And then when you realize, and this is the thing Elden Ring players will give me pushback on, and that's fine. Elden Ring players they'll do what they do, it's fine. I respect them and it's fine. Like Biohex, my boy, love him to death, plays Elden Ring constantly. And he knows that I don't hold this, it's not like a personal thing. This is my take on the game, not my take on the players of the game. I have nothing against Elden Ring players. Y'all are fine. Y'all are a fine crowd. Anyway, so like when you realize Elden Ring does nothing to make the game difficult for you as the player unless you make it hard for yourself. Like you have summons that fight things for you, long range magic that fights shit for you. You have these big sweeping fireballs. And like, oh, but what if I don't want to play that way? What if I want to play with the shortest, slowest weapon? Oh, that's your business. But that's not the game's fault. That's your fault.
Sure, okay.
Like by that same token, Pokemon is the hardest game ever. Because I could say, hey, Magikarps only. Good luck. Oh, what? You're too pussy to beat
Oh,
with Magikarps only? It's like a
well,
it's a
yeah.
self-imposed difficulty that you made up.
Well, so I'm a little different. I am not a Dark Souls gamer hashtag. I'm not a hashtag Elder Scrolls gamer. I mean Elder Scrolls. Elden Ring gamer. I did play it though. That was my first Dark Souls game, Dark Souls light or Souls like game, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah, yeah.
genre you want to call it. Um and I found it incredibly frustrating genre wise for some things that people love about that genre. Hey, look, I get it. People love invading, people love being the invader, people love that whole
The
system.
PvP is ridiculous, to be clear. So you're right
It's
to not like that.
so stupid. And here's my thing, right?
You're right to not like the PvP.
I will say this and people will go, "Oh, he's that type of gamer." I used the always online mod. It wasn't really a mod. It didn't do much other than allow
What's
me
that?
to. So there was a mod that came out for Elden Ring that allowed you to not be invaded. You could co-op with your friend, get all the achievements still, and
Oh,
not be invaded.
it's called like a flawless co-op or whatever.
Yeah, flawless co-op, no invades, and you didn't have to worry about it. which I think should be built into the game if you're going to make a co-op game anyway, to be honest and fair. Um, I'm a co-op gamer. I like co-op games. However, I don't like Dark Souls games. I don't like Souls like games. I don't like being punished. I think invading is just being punished to play the game. If I'm not playing on like extra hard difficulty where I want to be invaded, bitch,
It
why are
should
you
be an
invading me?
opt-in system for sure.
What are you getting out of invading me who doesn't play Dark Souls games and you're going to shit on me with your dark corruption bleeding weapon? Fuck you. Fuck your family. I
Well,
hope you
you know
fucking,
what? I can
you know what I
explain to you
mean?
what they get out of it because I've had someone explain it to me what they find enjoyable.
Satisfaction. Yeah. They love
They
the idea.
they enjoy ruining your day. They want you to
Yeah.
feel bad.
Yeah.
That's their words, not mine. The
Yeah.
best part of that is ruining someone's day. That's what they said.
So back to my point,
So they just want to make you mad. Not the
Souls like
developers, the
games
players, to be
with
clear.
the built-in systems that are in
Yeah.
the game. I'm not making this
Yeah.
up. These systems are in the game. You've confirmed to me. Some people have even said, I like doing this because of X thing. If your game is built around the fun of making someone's day worse, making someone hate the game because you're good at it, or you don't even have to be good at it, just get corruption on a weapon and you're good. You're not good for that. You're not a good player. You just have corruption on your, you have whatever ice lance is it called or whatever, the one shot ice weapon or ice ability or some shit. The magic of missile thing that just one shots you and deletes you. You're not good for casting A once, you dumb bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
That's so
let's
funny.
be so for real. So like, all that to be said, I think the game is hard in ways that makes players hate themselves in the game, and that's not fun to me.
Yeah, sure.
But that's the genre, and I get it. That's why I would never like.
Well, it's like
Like
getting
I
over
was
it, or any of those.
exactly. I don't like games like Overcooked 2, so I won't play and review a game like Overcooked 2. Right? Because I know I don't like those games, and those games are frustrating for me because it's not fun. So I just won't do that. So
I don't
like
know what Overcooked
the
is, but I
same
believe you.
way. So the same way, like I'm not gonna play Elden Ring the way they want me to. I'm just gonna play flawless co-op mode so I can have fun and play with, at the time, someone I was dating. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
Well, sure. And
right?
to be clear, I said a moment ago I beat that game 3 times on stream, like
Beat
all
it
the way
once.
through
That's
fresh
it. Yeah.
characters. And
Yeah.
I also played it because of someone I was dating at the time. You know
Sure.
what I mean? It has nothing to
Yeah.
do with like, oh, well, you must secretly love Souls games or whatever. No,
Sure.
fucking cannot stand Elden Ring.
And I see your point on the whole, like, yeah, you can, like, Elden Ring's based around like you punish yourself, so you do like, I'm gonna do a naked run, blah blah blah. And I think
Yeah.
yeah, if you can beat a game and it's naked, it's easy for the people. Like, it's easy for you because you've played, you have the experience of understanding at
No, no,
least the
no.
basic nature.
I think you took my point backwards. I'm saying
Go ahead.
the game's perceived difficulty comes from limiting your options like that, like naked runs and stuff. I'm
Okay.
not saying it must be easy because people beat it naked. I'm saying the people who are like bragging about how hard it is, parentheses positive, are fabricating that. They're like creating that difficulty themselves.
Okay.
Because like
Yeah,
even
I
you
get
who
you.
is not a Souls player, even you who are like not like into that, if you had the strongest summons and the strongest magic and you just walked around like one tapping shit with the fucking magic button, you'd be fine. Do you know what I mean?
True. And I'm not one of those gamers who like, I start a game and then that night I go on TikTok or YouTube and search strongest summons where, right? Like, I'm not doing
Right.
that. I'm just playing the game
Right.
as like a normal player,
Yeah.
you know?
So you're like missing information and also kind of like not into the genre or whatever. So like of course there's like hurdles.
Yes.
However, comma. Even like
I
the
guess if I
like
did
kind of
have the,
mediocre magic, it like if you started astrologer or whatever that
Sure.
started the magic class,
yeah.
you really can just stand around mashing the magic button. It's
I mean,
truly that
I
easy.
I did play a magic user, and
Yeah.
you know, I don't have all the
And you can
answers. I don't
over-level,
have
too.
everything.
You know? Just max out your
True.
health. Max out your health,
So
max out your defense, max out your magic. Just like stand around. It's kind of slow. It's boring, but
also, yeah,
like
in I know you and I play games a little differently. You do like to go
yeah,
the route of like finding how to break things, how to like
I do like
do
to
things a
system crash a
certain
little
way.
bit. Yeah,
I don't do that, so I'm playing from like the layman's kind of way of
yeah.
like
Just like grab
I'm
a sword,
not
good luck, kind
because
of
I
bit.
don't know fucking Medea 2 or whatever I need to go over level for. You know what I mean? For fucking
Medea 2 Tyler Perry movie? Question mark. Medea goes to the Tarnished.
yeah, because there's that one boss. What was her name? Matilda,
Melania.
Metalia, Melania. There we go. Fucking Trump's wife. Um,
Actually, it might be Melania because I remember it being different than
Melania.
Trump's wife, but
Yeah,
that's really funny.
yeah. Whatever the fucking name was. I remember that like I don't know, like I didn't know what to over level for. I didn't know. I knew you can over level in pretty much any RPG you want to do, whatever.
Yeah,
But
any game
like,
that lets you level up and put stats in your shit, like you
yeah,
can
but
just get big.
that's never my like goal in a game. So like, I know you can do this, but like the majority of gamers probably aren't gonna do it like that. And I tend to play like that. I tend to play like a normal, oh, this is easy. Or this is hard. I'm gonna do some side quests to like get leveled up, or I'm gonna go kill some
Well,
wolves and whatever the fuck, you know what I
good
mean,
luck
to
doing
get
side
leveled
quests
up.
in Elden Ring. You need a
Oh
fucking
boy,
oracle. You
yeah.
need Google and also a psychic.
So like, I guess where I'm coming from is like if I'm playing how like any gamer would play, other than the ones that are like you that are gonna try to like break the game in any way they can. And I'm not saying that in a negative way.
No,
That's not
sure,
like
of
a
course. No, I didn't
I'm
take it
not that's
negatively.
not
You're
like a
great.
slur way, but like um the people who do get enjoyment out of I'm gonna over level this and go beat Melania at level 17,000. Like, okay, cool. Like you can do that.
I mean, I didn't even
I'm not
over
gonna do
level
that.
for her, but you know what? I found that like someone told me there was like a Kamehameha wave in that shit, like a big laser beam, and I was like, yo,
Oh,
that's
I never had
fucking
that.
tight. Can't wait. So I
I had
went
an
and I got that.
ability.
Like, oh, that sounds sick. And
Sure.
I just and she summoned, like she started or whatever. I promise you, and she just exploded.
Yeah,
It was like,
and didn't have
and
people, and I
you
didn't
know
play
what's
it on stream.
crazy? You know what's crazy? Speaking of breaking
Some
systems, this is like a side bit. The coding for Melania is so bad.
Matilda, yeah,
Yeah, Matilda. The
Medea
coding for
goes to
Matilda is so fucking
Elden
bad,
Ring.
dude. The,
Yeah,
she is designed, at least I don't know if they patched her later, but I would imagine they didn't. But the way she's designed, so I'm going to say it in present tense because I'm pretty sure they never changed it. She is coded when you hit an attack button to dodge and punish that attack button you pressed. It doesn't matter what it is. But it only does it if you're looking at her when you press the button. So there's this shit, there's like these dragon breath attacks where you can like hold the button down and keep spraying fire or whatever it is.
sure.
The ice one is good against her. And if you start the attack facing like perpendicularly away from her and then sweep the neck to her, she won't dodge or punish at all. She'll just stand there and be like, ow, 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 ow. And you can, that's how I fought the whole first phase of that fight, was just like face a little away from her, dragon in, sweep, dragon in, sweep, dragon
And so
in,
I guess
sweep.
I don't know if
And
this just
she just
is.
died.
I don't know if this just says I'm low IQ. I don't know, but I beat her after
Great
100
job.
attempts or whatever.
Hell yeah.
Fucking difficult. Never picked up on that. You know what I mean? I'm not a gamer that picked up on that.
Yeah, well, you probably weren't using dragon breaths and shit. You're probably using weapons.
I
So you wouldn't
had
have picked
some
up on that.
ability that like made the moon fall out of the sky or some shit, and she just like
Yeah.
sidestep it every time. I'm just like,
Yeah.
bitch, what the fuck? Like, can you?
And
You
you
know
know
what I
what's
mean?
crazy
Like,
too? Is people will say like, "Oh, well, magic's broken in that game. Don't use magic because it's broken. No wonder it was so easy."
yeah,
If you do a full strength build, there's not a single boss in that game you can't kill in one hit. All of them.
yeah. So
It's
like
been
the
proven. It's been shown. You can literally just.
yeah, and
So
I
it's like,
would
okay, everything's
feel,
broken, dude.
and I feel like you're only doing that if you're like a speed runner, right? Like you're not doing that because you love the game. You're just doing that because you want to beat it fast.
It's
And
just
what's
like
the
weird
fucking
flex
point?
stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
weird. I don't
some of
really
it's
care
like
about
hard
any
to
of that
get.
shit.
Even you have to kind of go out of your way for the physical one,
Sure.
but like
Yeah.
side dungeons and special
Yeah,
trinkets and shit.
I
But
could care less about
the
all that. And
speedrunning
then
community, that's diff. Speedrunners like go out of world bounds and like teleport to
Sure.
stuff and like warp.
Yeah.
That's a whole other fucking thing. But
Yeah. I don't know. I found it hard, but I'm not really I never played a Souls-like game. So that was like my
yeah,
first entry into it. And maybe it's like probably a good entry into it because it's probably from what I've seen one of the easier Souls-like games from what people have said.
yeah,
Still pretty hard for someone just getting into the genre, not like uh a DS321 no lifer, you know what I mean? I'm not
yeah.
sitting out here living in those worlds. But I don't know, the genre, the invading, all this stuff, it's just not for me. I don't like it,
I did play
and
that
that's
shit
cool.
offline. I'll tell you what. I did kick that shit into offline mode. Like, don't invade me, motherfucker. I can't be bothered. Because even if I beat them, which is fine, like, I'm sure it'll be a 50-50, maybe less,
Hmm.
40-60 their favor.
Yeah,
Even if I do beat them, what a waste of my fucking time.
it is a waste
Get
of
away
time.
from me.
If I wanted to PvP, I would set myself up to PvP. But they
Yeah,
have this thing, Dark Souls players. It was crazy reading the comments on some of these things in the
I believe that.
discourse. Having co-op in the game was, it's so easy. You fucking suck. It's like I'm not playing, so it's hard. I just want to play with
Yeah,
my
like you're not
friends.
gonna go to an Elden Ring tournament. You're not trying to climb the Elden Ring ladder.
In these Elden Ring fans, some of them, and I won't say Elden Ring fans specifically, Souls-like games fans, Souls-like games. They have Persona 4 energy, if you know what I mean.
I do.
They
I
got
do know
Persona
exactly what you mean.
energy.
Yeah.
Rabid, broken people. And that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I
I
have
love
many Elden
y'all.
Ring homies. I'm not talking shit about
Yeah.
if like I'm not saying like you're a dumb idiot if you play Elden Ring. It's like that's fine.
But most of those
I played it
players
3
will
fucking
tell you
times.
that. That's
But
the
yeah.
issue. You're not saying that, but the community at large says that. And that's
Yeah, they'll tell you
cringe.
you're a dumb idiot if you don't play Elden Ring for sure.
They can't take out invading because that's a part of the game. It's like pivotal. And I would literally respond, LOL, my mod says you can't raid me anymore. How about that? Be
Basically.
like, you should be banned for that. And I'm like, suck my dick.
Yeah. Offline mode on Steam. See ya.
Well,
Unconnect my
so
Ethernet port. Yoink.
so the issue with offline
I mean,
mode,
Grant, you're
you
trying
can't.
to play co-op, so
I'm trying to play co-op, so I'm a bitch anyway, off rip because I want to play co-op. So they're already hitting me with I'm a dumb bitch, I'm a pussy bitch because I want to play co-op with a friend, and then I'm on top of that double pussy bitch, double bitch because I don't want to be rated because I should. If I want to play co-op, it's their right to raid me and make my life miserable, so I can't play the content because
yes.
they want to do what they want to do and I'm not allowed to do what I want to do. That's how the discourse
Yeah.
goes.
And it does kind of invite the idea that like because you can get invaded anytime, there's also necessarily like some lean toward the idea of a meta like for build quality because some builds are better at PvP than others, and if you're gonna
I'll
get
tell you
invaded
this.
and die constantly, you're gonna lose souls, you're gonna waste time, blah blah, blah, you're gonna lose progress.
I'll tell you
So
this. My memory is not Superman. I don't remember every single thing. I remember every raid that I got though. If I told you every raid that I got was someone with some fucking dumb corruption build and
yeah, it's
the
like the bleed
whole
build. Yep.
point the bleed build, the bleed corruption, whatever, where like all they want to do is hit you once and then you just decay and die. That's the build. Is they
Yeah.
land one hit on you to
Oh,
then
you mean the
watch
one where like
you.
the spikes grow out of you and you insta die? Or the
No,
one where your
I'm
HP just drains to 0?
drains to zero. The corruption,
The bleed, yeah, it's bleed.
bleed, whatever. It looked like
Yeah.
it didn't look like blood. It looked like corruption or whatever on the sword. But
What
yeah,
do you
they
mean,
hit
like
you.
black?
It was like an old school enchant. Wow, but you don't know what I'm talking about if I said that.
So
Um,
there's bleed and there's something called dark fire, and it's like kind of a black and red flame.
bleed, but it was red. I think like a dark red.
Oh,
I'll
I
have
know
to
what you're
look
talking about.
again.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
They hit you once, and whatever you do, you could hit a potion. Didn't matter. It would just bam, bam, bam. You're dead.
Yeah.
And,
Correct.
literally what they would do is they rush over to you as fast as they can, hit you once, and then step
Just run
back,
around dodge,
and
run around
then
dodge.
they just start teabagging the floor because you're dead. You're dying
Yeah.
instantly, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
garbage to me.
It's not
That's
good.
just meta. Like people logged into that character just to do that, and that's cringe to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
all
You're
that to
literally right.
say, but I'm not going to take away from what the game did for the genre. It was a good game. Like it did
I will.
great.
I'll take it away. You can be the nice guy here. I'll do it. I'll take it away.
For not liking some of the
I'll do it.
stuff, it did like a lot of stuff right, not holding the player's hand. I think I like that a little more than how like old school like the recent Assassin's Creed games do it, where they're like they actually unironically do this. Hey, it's over here. You know what I mean? And
Um,
that's
hmm.
a kind of annoying.
I'll tell you what. I like the hey over here's, but I only like the hey over here's in open world games because fuck them. There's no like inherent level design to push you where you're supposed to go. It's a fucking wander and guess. I
I'm
I
okay with
really
like a
like the
map.
wander and guess, no hand holding in like instance based, level based Mega Man X, Gex 64, Banjo Kazooie. I think that kind of thing is fine. I like that. But if it's like Elden Ring where like there's not even a vague indicator that there might be something to look for, like fuck you.
Well, so I was gonna say that I don't like the one thing about Elden Ring I don't like is you have to have one or the other. And hear me out. Give me a goddamn quest log. Can you give me a quest log? Can I understand if I'm on a
Right,
quest?
yeah. There's
So
not
I'm
only are there no
saying,
waypoints, there's no quest log or quest indicator, and also you don't know if you've done a step of a quest or not.
so a lot of things in Elden Ring were cool
Yeah.
because they would say the tower to the east. I'll look at the map and look for a tower at the east. That's fine.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
tight. I can do
However,
hints. I can do hints.
the hints are cool to me, and some of the Assassin's Creed games do really well at that. But I don't like when the fucking arrow is in front of my face, and I'm like, brother, please. And like some WoW stuff does that these days, and some other stuff. And I like a little handhold me if I want it. So like, in my opinion, give me a quest log in Elden Ring, and I'd be doing better in Elden Ring than like quest logs don't exist. Well, did you hear the voice line? If you didn't, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Kind of dumb. You know what I
Like I
mean?
think they're expecting you to either live on the wiki or have an active like real notepad open with a pencil.
Don't like that. However, I do
Yeah.
think the idea was good of like go over there to the east. There's a thing. I just think it could be implemented better, but I like games that do that. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I like 100% what Elden Ring did, but I like what they were trying to achieve. Just like not having a quest log just says fuck you. Just the whole game essentially is just like go fuck yourself. And then also our questing system also tells you go fuck yourself. So in my mind, Elden Ring feels like a game I should just go fuck myself instead. It's not a game. I'm
That's
not
kind of
having
their hope, yeah.
fun. It's
That's
a
kind of their
job.
hope is that you feel that way, yes.
What Elden Ring did was actually make me play a game that's not a game anymore. It's just a job and I'm not getting paid. So I'm an intern.
It's funny you say that. Because that's how I feel about jobs where you actually like games where you actually have to do a job.
Oh, like a Sims or something, or like
Like
or what
fucking
are you
was
talking about?
Bodega Simulator, whatever that shit was. And then TCG Card Shop Simulator.
That game's pretty funny though. I mean, so I get that, but
I'm over here like,
also,
hey, if I wanted to run a 7-Eleven, I would go get a job at a 7-Eleven.
but hear me out, right? We all know card shops don't make that much money. They usually go out of business within the first couple of years. Like some do really well, some don't. So I don't have to put in capital down. I can just enjoy ripping packs of fake Pokemon. I think that's kind of tight.
That one makes more sense to me than like the corner store
Fucking
simulator or whatever it's fucking called.
corner
What's the other one?
store 7-Eleven sushi roll simulator, dumb as fuck. Like
Yeah, I can't get behind.
stock the shelves in a supermarket simulator. I'll just go work at Kroger if I want to do
Supermarket
that. Like,
Simulator. That's what's fucking called.
yeah, I could see it if there was a co-op one that was kind of funny. But anyway,
Not the
that
point. Not the
said,
point.
not
All
the
of that
point.
is to say we have the same take but backwards about which company should have which more priced games.
Yeah,
That's the point. Is I look at
yeah.
PlayStation 4 shit and I'm like, wow, these should be $30. And then you be looking at Nintendo shit, be like, wow, these should be $30. Like
Um,
same but
yeah,
opposite, I feel.
yeah. But I feel like, hear me out. I don't want to diminish your point. I think you had good points. I feel a lot of what you brought to the table is more like feeling, like you just you look at it and you feel like it's a bad game. Now hear me out, right? Like I'm not, when I look at like a Nintendo game, like a Pokemon game, for me personally, I look at it and I'm like, that is not like a 400-hour game.
I
It's
have
just not.
1,000 hours in Pokemon, and only because the
Well,
clock stopped.
yeah, but
And
what are
I
you
have a
doing
thousand
it
hours in
for a
every
thousand?
Pokemon game, to be clear, not just the recent one.
That's crazy. You're an outlier probably in that. Can we
I
be
don't
for
think I
real on that?
am.
That's crazy. I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
know. Anyway,
know.
you're not gonna tell me Kirby, the Kirby game
Like,
that's coming out for the Switch 2 is like a AAA game worth $80.
yeah.
No, I don't think
Wait,
so.
do
But
you mean
that's fine.
Kirby Air Riders 2? Or what are the Air Riders one?
No,
Or do
the
you mean the
one,
the Forgotten
the first
Land?
one they showed.
Oh, that was like the Switch 1 game with the enhanced version and like an extra DLC thing.
Yeah, like I just don't see that being, and like we can disagree and that's great. I don't think you're a bad person
I
for
think
it.
that was worth the 69.99. Yeah, for Switch 1, for sure.
Well, it's going on Switch 2, so it's going to be 80, right? The
No.
new price difference.
Well, we don't know how much the upgrade is.
Well, I imagine you're buying a whole new game. It's like the Switch version, no? Is what they kind of.
No, it's an upgrade it's like a digital upgrade or whatever. Like
Yeah,
if you
we'll have to
already own
see.
the
I don't
game,
know.
you get a digital upgrade code. So
I don't
the
know how
the
upgrade
Switch 2
stuff works. I
version
don't
is a
have a
new
console,
game
so
that you buy fresh. And if you do own the original, there's like a digital upgrade code to bump
sure.
it.
But assuming I don't have it, I'm assuming
So
I'm
I
buying
don't
it because I wanted like,
yeah, I don't
because I
know
don't have a
actually.
Switch 2. Uh, Assuming you're not one of the people who already like invested the money to have the first version and you're getting like an upgrade copy, it doesn't matter. Like that's a weird outlier, whatever.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Like I don't know the title, so I'd be bringing up like a game, and you'd be like, "That's not for
Kirby
the
and the
Switch 2."
Forgotten Land.
Sure, like uh, I'm trying to pull like the Donkey Kong game. I don't think the
Bonanza
scope.
is the new one. Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Bonanza, sure. And because I don't want to confuse and be like, oh, Donkey Kong Country 7. You're like, that's not So like,
Yeah.
yeah, Bonanza. Like, I don't think the scope of that game is big enough to say that's a AAA game. So therefore, $80 for Donkey Kong should be that. And I'm not here again. I know it's easy, and a lot of people say like Nintendo games are just kid games. I don't want to fall into that category. I'm not saying that. I just think the scope, right? Like Nintendo's for kids. Not saying it. I just don't think the scope, when I visually see it on the screen, is going to be the scope of like another AAA equivalent game at the same price point. And that to
Oh,
me makes me not want to buy. And that's with any game, like the
sure.
quadruple A game. I look at that and go, that's not a quadruple A game. I don't even know what a
Uh,
quadruple A game is. That's not worth $100. No, thank
yeah,
you.
that shit was so
You know what I
goofy.
mean? So
But
like to me, it's just,
yeah.
we can agree to disagree. That's fine. I just something like a
Yeah.
Spider-Man 1, I don't see how someone could come to the conclusion that's a $30 game, because it's very clearly in tech and practice when you play it, not a $30 game. That is a game worth a full price, in my opinion.
That's a little mind-blowing, but also I can respect it though. Like I'm not gonna say you're wrong for it.
I don't
I
think
don't know
it's
if I could
mind
get there.
blowing because, like, if we take out
No, to
the,
me, that it's mind-blowing that you feel that way.
well, it's hard
Probably in the same
because you
way that you
haven't
find
played
it's
it.
mind-blowing for you that I would say Kirby's worth $80. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's I wouldn't use mind blowing, I guess, because mind blowing means like I'm like fucking crazy. I can't understand why someone. There are going to be people who love Kirby that's their price point. That's fine. I
Oh,
get that.
well, sure. Okay, well, from that
Yeah,
token, then I can see why a
yeah,
Spider-Man head would pay $80 for a Spider-Man game for sure.
yeah. But
But
like,
yeah, just the
but
average gamer, I can't imagine being comfortable spending that much money for web sling simulator and then punch guys. It
well,
just
it's a
seems
little
like all
more
that
than that
content is.
because
It
then it's
seems to me from everything I've
story.
seen that content, sure, but then we have to talk about what is an $80 story,
Well, yeah, and then we have to talk about, well, we just steal it,
because
and
a
I guess
movie's
that's,
$12
yeah.
and that's a pretty good story.
Well, there's some bad
Like,
movies, bad Spider-Man movies.
there's some bad fucking movies. True.
We've watched some
So like,
actually, so
so like the
yeah, I get
price
it.
tag of a story is a little more hard to.
Yeah, and I'm not like, and here's my thing, right? I'm not saying it should be lower, as in like, I think all prices should be lower because then more people would be able to buy them. I'm not saying it's not like a, I'm not, I'm not saying capitalism bad equals everything should be free. I'm just saying from the games that are coming out with that price tag, I'm seeing that the scopes of them are bigger in like not every single game. There will be games you look at and go, "What the fuck is this dumbass pirate game? This is stupid. This shouldn't be." Like if Sea of Thieves or good example, Power World. If Power World came out and said we are a AAA game, I'd be like, "You are fucking dumb if you think this game is AAA." Now, if we come out and say this game is $40 and it's a really good game and put a lot of hours into it, okay, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a good like. I don't know what they would call it. I don't think it's indie because they're not really indie, but it's not a AAA
Aren't
game.
they?
I don't think so.
Surely they're an independent studio.
They
Like,
could
it's
be, but
every
I think
studio
they
is an
got
independent studio.
backing.
Question mark.
Unless you're
I
owned
don't,
by like Xbox or something.
yeah, because that's always what that's again. That's what I always thought that meant. The AAA was like in house, like something made by Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo is a AAA title, and anything else is indie. I had very like clear black and white understanding of that, but I'd never heard of single or double A. I don't, whatever that is.
Yeah, like you hear double A thrown around a lot.
Yeah, I don't ever heard AAA and indie, and those are the two
I've
terms I
never
was
heard of
familiar with.
single
So
A, but like I guess a single A would be like. Regardless, I can come back with some term. Next podcast, episode 10, we
yeah,
can.
we'll look into it later.
Yeah, but I don't think AAA is necessarily owned by studio because there's a lot of not owned by studio AAA games. And so I don't think the studio thing holds
Interesting.
up. But again, I'm not like, this isn't, I don't want to get into the conversation of like,
Yeah,
I'm not
then
trying
we're
to
like,
take every
yeah.
point and be like, you're wrong.
Now
Obviously,
now we're
our
semantics.
conversations don't
Yeah,
do
that
that.
would be like
Yeah.
well, actually, roguelite with a T is a like we
Yeah.
don't need to
Fucking, oh,
like,
fucking
we don't need
glasses
to
head ass.
fucking Poindexter each
Yeah.
other. Like, wait, I have
Yeah. But
glasses on.
like,
Audio listeners, I have glasses on. That was a pointed statement. Wait a minute. Audio listeners,
but,
I'm literally wearing glasses. Oh,
yeah. So I guess like, because like for me, I love Animal Crossing. I'm gonna say Animal Crossing and Pikmin. I love. So I don't even want it to come across as like he just doesn't like Kirby, so he's picking on Kirby. I'm not even picking on Kirby. Two games I really love that are actually kind of out of the blue because like I don't think Pikmin is like world renowned Pokemon level big.
no,
Pikmin probably does okay, but it's not
probably just
like
fine.
a crazy title.
Yeah, I'd imagine
Yeah,
Pikmin.
Animal Crossing
I do
probably amazing.
believe Pikmin was among the best sellers on the GameCube. Like Pikmin 1.
Oh
I think
sure,
it's like
okay,
the top 10
okay,
best selling or near top 10.
sure, okay.
So like Pikmin 1, I don't know about the franchise, but I know it started real strong.
Cool. Okay. I can say this. I've enjoyed every Pikmin game that comes out, and I beat every Pikmin game that's came out.
It might surprise you to
Regardless
learn
of like,
Olivia, big Souls gamer,
huh?
fucking loves Pikmin. Just
I love
absolutely
Pikmin.
cuckoo
Yeah.
for Cocoa Puffs on
I
Pikmin.
love having little workers that want to build shit for me and carry stuff to my ship. I love it. The gameplay loop. I'm addicted.
Interesting.
I'm addicted. Well, I also coming from someone who loves like city builders and shit like that. I mean, the idea of like people going and creating stuff. So I love the game. I love
I don't like it when the
again, Animal
strawberry dogs
Crossing.
eat them. It makes me sad.
It's true, but then you beat the strawberry dogs and turn them into more Pikmin.
True. The cycle of life.
But even me loving those games, I don't think Pikmin 4 is the newest one or 3. Which one
4.
was the newest Pikmin game?
4.
4. I don't think Pikmin 4 in my eyes is really a AAA game. I don't think it should be like if Pikmin 5 came out for like Switch 2, $80, I'd be like, I will not probably steal it, but I'll wait for a discount. And I don't know enough, so I don't know what like don't come for me. I don't know what game they're on, but I think it's like 3 or 4. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't see them as Like a AAA title.
You might be surprised to learn Pikmin, 16th best-selling game on the Nintendo GameCube. Pretty
It
good.
deserves it because it's a good game, and people who
Pretty
give
good.
it shit are dumb. I don't understand why they don't dislike it.
Not
That's
bad.
funny. I do understand why someone would dislike it because I understand the multitasking of dealing with an army of little seeds is annoying. Little plant creatures would be probably overwhelming for Babe, I'd imagine.
Probably is.
Yeah. So I understand why some people wouldn't like it, but I don't know. So I
You
guess I
want to take a
just use
shot at
that
what the
as
number one selling GameCube game
for
is?
which Mario Sunshine.
Mario Sunshine number 3. Number 3.
I also love Mario Sunshine, by the way. Also don't think it's like a AAA game.
I
Just
think
I
by
just want to
definition
be
it has to be, right? Well, no, because my definition might be wrong. Actually, the title, the publisher thing. So fair, true, fair.
and I
But
just want to make sure that like we're on the same page as like look, I'm not like a huge Nintendo head, but I'm not picking on Nintendo games. There are some Nintendo games I really enjoy.
no,
And
sure,
like
of course.
I would go over to Nick's house and that's the first game I would put in because I wanted to fucking and
Hey,
Sunshine also, Mario Sunshine, good fucking game. Love that game.
to be clear, I love a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
I'm a PlayStation gamer.
What's the first one? What's the
Super Smash Brothers Melee.
oh, why didn't I think of that?
Melee best
It was
selling.
on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
And
7.41 million copies sold.
and if I remember correctly, there's only one Smash game per generation, right?
That depends how you look at it, but yes. Smash 4 was on the 3DS and the Wii at the same time. Wii U. So, like, it came out on 2 consoles at the same time, but it's basically the same game, and they could, like, cross-play. So,
Oh yeah, same game, I guess.
yeah,
I
so,
would say same.
same game.
But like there's not multiple
But there is
Smash
not, like, 2
games
GameCube
in
Smashes, 2 Wii Smashes, 2...
yeah,
No, is one per, yeah.
there's one Switch Smash and that's it. Yeah, so I guess I could see that being a huge title. And that was back before like did they ever do like downloadable content people or the people you
Smash
started
Melee?
Smash?
No.
Yeah, because that was before DLC.
Melee was just the roster, and that's it. You're letting it rock.
Damn.
Yep. There were
Crazy
unlockable
time.
characters. Characters you had to do stuff to, like, earn.
Yeah, I remember unlockable characters. That's cool.
Pepper's
I
Farm
don't know.
remembers.
I'm dumb for that. It was on the tip of my tongue. I don't know why I said Mario. I was just thinking, yeah, it has to be Mario because Mario's kind of like their
Yeah.
flagship kind of guy. But like
Second
thinking
best is
out,
crazy.
second best.
Between
I'm f-
Sunshine and Smash. Mind-blowing answer. Maybe my mind is
Not
blown too easily.
not like Luigi's Mansion.
Number 5.
That game was dumb. I fucking hate Luigi's
I also
Mansion.
hate Luigi's Mansion.
It's such a bullshit dumbass game.
Yeah, I don't like
I don't
Luigi's
know.
Mansion at
Mario
all.
Party maybe. Mario Party, Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash.
I could see it, I guess. So Mario holds 2 spots. Mario holds 2 spots in the top 5. Is hilarious.
3, kind of. I mean, Luigi's Mansion's
Oh,
basically
Luigi.
a Mario game.
So I mean, you add
Same
them all
universe
together,
anyway.
divide by a couple.
Yeah, right.
Basically,
Carry
one.
the 1.
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah. And then if
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't know.
imagine, expand it out to top 10, Mario Party 4 and 5 are in there.
Yeah, and I don't even think those games are bad games. Like I don't think the Donkey Kong game looks like a bad game. It just, and maybe I'm wrong, and in I'm like in the minority on this. Maybe I'm just not I have something blocking my brain that just doesn't allow me to think that like Nintendo games are AAA games. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a AAA game to me when I see it.
Interesting. That's so
I don't
interesting.
know. And it doesn't seem like the scope. I don't know. It just seems like I'll have to expand on this. I'll have to hit a Jedi meditation on this and kind of feel like where
Yeah.
I'm coming from, because I would
Is this our
the
first
right
cliffhanger part 2 incoming? Is this our first
it
we'll
could
see you
be.
next week with this one?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I don't want to sit here and destroy Nintendo games and say they're all bad or whatever, not because I'm not. But I just don't see, like, I don't think I would play the Donkey Kong game not for $80. But like a GTA, I would pay $80 for it because I know that's going to be like
That's so fascinating. Because yeah,
thousand, two
it's the
thousand hour game,
exact
right?
opposite. Like I
Yeah.
would definitely play GTA if it was a $15 game.
Well, well, I would venture to say that's also not like you're not of the only thing law you're breaking is like wanting to play some stuff and watch some stuff for free. Like I don't think you're like, you know what I mean? Like you're not really going and beating up a hooker on the side of the road and stealing a car really isn't your like.
Well, even then, I feel like
It
that's a
doesn't
one-time
excite you.
experience. You beat up one hooker, steal one car, you've beat up every hooker and
Oh
stolen every car. There's like no
no, it's
difference.
fun. You just keep doing it.
See, but that's Pokemon. And you're like, what do
I
you
don't
do in
know because
Pokemon? I'm
I've
like, you keep Pokemoning, bro.
well, you know what's funny is because like I think it's unfair to me to like bring up GTA because you haven't played GTA. But like if we talk about Pokemon, I played Pokemon games, and like I don't think there's a world where I play a Pokemon game until I beat it, and then I'm like, oh, I beat it, I'm done. And maybe I'm just not that kind of gamer. Everyone's different, right? I understand everyone's different. I don't think the majority of people are gonna play it after they beat it completely.
I think you're
And
right.
beating
They
it
don't.
also could
Well,
mean
they might
different
fill the
things for different
Pokedex.
people. Fill the Pokédex, but like maybe that's 50 hours, maybe that's 40 hours. Surely not like 100 hours
Oh,
to
it's
complete
way
the
more.
Pokédex.
It's a lot.
To come to just complete it. I'm not talking about like shinies, but like just
Yeah, it take a while.
no, I don't think so. Because I beat X and Y in like 20 hours.
Fill the whole Pokedex? I think you're taking a hot minute.
Could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah,
say
because you gotta
I'm
track down all
right.
the
Yeah.
legendaries. You gotta track. Well, I guess it depends which Pokemon game too. But you gotta track down all the
Yeah.
legendaries. You gotta track down the rare ones that only show up in certain raid dens. You gotta track down the rare ones that only show up in certain islands at certain times.
Well, you know what? I take that back for like the online ones, but I don't think X and Y had a real big like online thing. It was just basically like a 3D Pokemon game, like base level shit. I don't think it really had much like online den vibe or like any type of
No,
like
they didn't have
extra
raid dens in
content.
that. No, but like you did have to do a lot of side
Yeah.
missions. You had to do a little hidden like extra stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it was like 20 hours, and I really enjoyed it.
And
I
you
cannot
100%ed
say
the Pokedex in 20 hours?
I 100% of the Pokédex. I swear to God, like hand to
Wow,
God, like it
you're
was like 20
speeding. You're
hours.
going crazy. You're fast.
Well, I just I catch everything. Like I guess again, I'm playing differently. I'm just like I'm not trying to catch like a male and female of everything. I'm just like
Well,
that's
no, even
Pokemon,
then,
catch
I
it.
don't even think you can get through the main. That's a shocking speed.
20, maybe like 30 hours, but it wasn't more than like 30 hours.
Wow, quick,
I have
quick guy.
I could go look at my Switch and tell you. I could go like if it
Wait,
turns
for X and
on.
Y,
Wasn't X and Y on?
3DS.
I could go find my 3DS and tell you. Yeah, whatever console is on, I could probably find it.
Wow,
Um,
my man's
you
quick.
don't gotta believe me, but I wasn't spending
Well, I'm just
100
saying
hours
you're
on
very
it.
fast. I believe you.
Yeah. And maybe I didn't catch like every legendary. Maybe I didn't, but like, well, again, right? I'm not a Pokemon head, so I'm not out here. And like I already stated, I'm not 100% in games or like getting every achievement. I don't know what achievement systems in
So when you say you
Pokemon, so I'm
complete
not
the
like,
Pokedex, you mean minus legendaries?
I don't know. I'd have to look, but I'm pretty
Oh,
sure,
sure.
like in. I don't know what the context of completing the Pokédex is these days because there's Pokemon Home and everything. To me, completing the Pokemon Dex is like everything that came with the game, not like any
Right. Yeah,
special
that is.
things,
You're right. Yeah.
fireside chat stuff. I don't do any of
No,
that.
you're right.
So I probably had all the ones that came with my game. I wasn't trading for hours trying to get like the other one because I know you can only get one, right? Like my playthrough was like, what came with X? What was the X one? What was the X
Well,
legendary?
legendary Xerneas, or if it was the deer, like a blue deer with rainbow horns.
Yes. So I had like the deer guy. and then but like I don't think I had the other guy. So like, is my dex does that count as like incomplete dex because I have pretty much everything that came with my game?
Yeah, you would need trade for the other one.
So I guess okay.
I mean,
Your
there's the in-game
context,
trade house or whatever. Well, it's not context.
my
There's like an NPC you talk to who says, "Did you complete it or not?" And he's like, "Yes or no."
I'm not talking about context for that. Sorry, I'm talking about like your version of complete the Pokédex is like the whole both games. I completed probably my games dex, like of the ones I
Oh,
could capture in my game.
well, my context of completing the Pokedex is when the game says it's complete. Like objectively, there's like a guy.
I'm sure.
So like,
Yeah, I didn't have any friends to like trade other legendaries with or like use the in-game. I
no,
didn't
there's
even know
like
there was an
the
in-game
in-game
trade.
trade. Yeah, there's
Didn't
like a
even know.
with the
No,
global trade station. You just like walk up to the thing and type in what you're looking for, and it'll show you like
a list of like people to trade
it'll show you.
for.
So basically, the global trade station is like you put a Pokemon up for trade and a
Uh,
Pokemon that you want as like a request, and then you just like
uh,
set it and let it go. And then someone will be like, "Oh,
uh,
I have a Persian and I do need a Tauros." And then you find someone who's
yeah.
offering a Tauros and looking for Persian.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any of that. And this is news to me. I didn't know that was in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So if you
my
so if you're
completing the
talking like no
Pokemon
version
game,
exclusives and
no. So my completing the game for me was beating the game and then capturing all the Pokemon I could get in my game. And then maybe if Nick wanted something and we happened, because again, me and Nick live in totally separate cities most of the time. So I don't, if it's not like now online where we could do that, I probably didn't know about it. And plus, I didn't really know about it now. So I didn't know about it back then. The trade station
that
thing.
tracks.
So I'm not going to say I completed the decks because that'd be a lie, but I completed everything that was in my game as far as like all the Pokemon I could catch.
Sure, 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 sure,
And
sure, sure.
and maybe that 20 hours doesn't seem crazy when that's factored in because I'm not like spending time trading or whatever, but like 20, 25 hours to beat the game, I think beat the game again, not complete the decks because I can't say I did that.
Like
But like to,
clear the Elite Four, kill the champion, watch the credits.
yeah, yeah. Like have a couple high level Pokemon, but I'm not like making everyone high level, just my team of 6 or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like a little fast, but it's like not like unreasonably fast. Yeah.
I'm a casual Pokemon player. That's it. A casual
Sure.
player. I'm not
Yeah.
collecting, you know, I'm not doing trade station stuff, just vibing.
Just vibing. Just chilling.
Just vibing. But you know what also is a vibe?
What else is a vibe, brother?
Our sponsor, HelloFresh. I'm kidding.
Oh my god. Audible.com.
Audible.com/the bit for 10% off. That's crazy.
You know, my grandpa wrote a book. It's like straight up published on Amazon.
That's sick. I have a friend. Her name is Laura. She writes smut for Amazon. She writes the vampire smut.
And his book is not audiobooked.
Oh,
I
interesting.
should read it and record it maybe.
What is it about?
It's called The Blood Orchid, and it's about an amnesiac who goes on an adventure based on a dream.
And your grandfather, remind me if I'm wrong, he's a war vet. He did some wartime.
Yep, sure did.
What war was he in?
Pick one. My man just warring it up out here. You know what I mean? He going crazy.
You're around my age, so he probably did some time in Korea, I'd imagine.
He was a World War II fella.
Oh,
my man is 101, if you can imagine.
Okay, so maybe a little different. Never mind. My
Yeah,
grandfather
he was fighting. He was like, "Yo, them Nansos, they gotta go."
My grandpa was a war guy, but he also went in when he was like 16 or 17, so it was a little bit of a
that's what my grandpa did.
Different vibe.
But he was born in 24.
Yeah, a little different. I was thinking they were around the same vibe, but vibes different.
No, he's
different wavelengths.
Yeah, he is old.
Is it about his time in the war, or is it about
No, just a creative writing endeavor. He just had some ideas and wanted to write it, and then he didn't until he was like 87. He was like, I've been sitting on this since I was an octogenarian. Let's fucking go.
You know what's crazy to me is when people are like in their the last chapter of their lives, but then they make it like another last chapter. Because like you think 80, you're not writing a book. You're like hanging out, sipping some Juice hanging out, watching Nash Bridges hanging out, vibing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, um, but like people are 80 writing books. People are out here starting businesses at like 90, just hitting an extra chapter. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, check this out. I'll
That's
put it in
awesome though.
the fourth wall break. Audio listeners, you won't have a link to this, but yeah, check that out. Tight.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's so sick.
good.
I love
It's
that.
not a very big book, but
That doesn't have to be. Some books are
yeah, it's like
fucking amazing.
it's a little 286 pager, a little light
Oh,
read.
I mean that's a good read. I read comic books, so that's a little
True. It's
a
like no
couple
Harry
more
Potter, you know
pages.
what I mean? It's no Harry Potter.
True.
Those are like what, 600 pages, 800 pages
Excuse
sometimes.
me. That's great, dude.
Yeah,
I love
not
that.
bad.
No,
This little guy.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, pretty solid, pretty chill. So maybe when we get an Audible sponsor, I personally will audiobook that.
Yo, W Audio. Hey, Audible, if you're listening, get us in.
Audible, I will record an audiobook for you. Think of the plug. That's tight.
But then they'd probably need you on some contractual basis of like, we'll let you do this book, but you gotta do 4 books for us. One book for you, 4 books for us. Dive vibe, and then you gotta be.
Then they're gonna make me
a
read that thing
slave
about
to the
having sex
man.
with a door or whatever.
W.
Fuck.
Oh, what a good episode. What a good episode
Yeah, great
of
episode.
differing opinions. I like when, you know, what is kind of missing in this world. A lot of people,
Yeah.
when they become friends with someone and this person doesn't agree with them, they kind of stop being friends with them because they don't know how to deal with that.
Oh, yeah.
They don't know the throes of like people disagreeing about stuff, and it has to be like a fight. It has to be weird. I like that in our
Yeah.
friendship. You can have bad opinions and I can sit here and listen to them. You know what I mean?
It's one of the joys of freedom, brother. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. By the way, just kidding. You don't have bad ideas.
I think
Opinions.
both of our takes are takes that exist, and that's tight.
And it's cool too because both of us also have diabolical, terrible takes as well. Sometimes we're
I
both
can't
on
think
the
of what
same
mine
page.
would be, but sure.
Well, I'm just saying, not between us, but like both of us will agree. Usually, you know what's funny? When both of us agree on something, it's usually against what everyone else feels. And then we're like
That's
on a hill
often
by
true.
ourselves fighting off the zombies of wrong because we're on the mountain of right.
Yeah, well, I feel like I'm on that mountain a lot, to be clear, but
Sometimes you're wrong. I'm
it's
not gonna
like
say a
that
lot of
manga
times
panel
you're
I
wrong.
bring up all the time where it's like they hated him for he spoke the truth.
Well, you know, if you never listen to people who disagree with you, then you can never be wrong.
True. God, echo chambers are so tight. If only I lived in a bubble
Yeah.
of opinions every day.
Yeah, you know, fuck misinformation. You know, fuck
Okay, but
bad
spreading
opinions.
misinformation is so fun.
Yeah, if you could imagine Sword Art Online not being an isekai, that's crazy. It's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, but
Why?
we were saying it was an isekai. You're saying it's
It's
not?
not. No, I stand on that hill forever.
Yeah, you're still on that, eh?
As an IP, it's not. In one season it was. But like they don't do the same thing every season. There, you know, there's multiple seasons of Sword Art Online.
Well, yeah,
There's
but
like
they're all
one
trapped
where
in
they
games,
play
though.
guns. Well, no, not all of them. They're not all.
All of them. Aincrad
No.
and Gun Gale Online and Elfheim Online, they're all games.
They're all games, but they're not always trapped in them. Where there's a couple seasons where they're not. He's
That's
just
true. They
logging
can
in to
log
play
out.
the game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they can log out.
Only the first season was the one they weren't, and everyone's like, because of that one season, the whole show's an isekai. I'm like, no, not really. Can't. Me playing World of Warcraft doesn't mean I live in an isekai. You know what I mean? I'm a gamer, so it's just a gamer.
But what if you were in a coma and your brain was trapped in there for a year?
Then season 1 of that show where I was trapped in it would be an isekai and not the whole IP, not Sword Art Online.
Oh, interesting. Well, it's funny you say that. Because it doesn't even have seasons.
It does.
Nope, it's called Sword Art Online 2. Like Squid Game Season 2 is Squid Game 2 because they don't do seasons, they do sequel series.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the English version where they all just kind of mash it all together, even though it is Sword
But
Art
that's
Online
not
2 and Sword Art
canon.
Online.
That's a translatory
Yeah.
issue, and if you respected the glorious Nihon original concepts, you would understand that that's actually the Bakagaijin in the West. That's the West.
You
That's
know
the
what
Shihon
I say to
Yokai.
that? I have a friend
Shiro
that I played
Yokai.
Borderlands. No, hear me out. I had a friend I played Borderlands in DVD with once, a
Uh-huh.
couple times actually, and he said one time, "Fuck that. I don't believe that I should, I fuck that." I think he said that once.
That sounds like a quote.
He said someone asked him, "Do you align with this culture?" And he said, "No, not really. I don't like that. I don't fuck that. Actually, I don't
Borderlands
agree with all
culture?
that stuff." No, about the culture that also makes like the anime stuff and then the cat girl stuff and all that other stuff. He said like I don't really fuck with that, but I like some stuff. And I was like, oh, I agree with
Are
that.
we talking about me yesterday?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I did say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you did say that. And then you also said, but you do fuck with this. But I don't believe that because then yesterday, but then you say you're always right. So if you're always right and you said it yesterday, then you were right yesterday and you're wrong today. So that means you don't believe what you're saying because it's actually not true and you don't like the Japanese thing because it's in English and then the English thing is English and not Japanese. So really it's not Sword Art Online 2, it's Sword Art Online and the 2 doesn't matter because that's the Japanese thing and you don't really fuck with that because you said it yesterday. And so you can't really go back on your word because you're always right. So if you're always right, you already said that yesterday and that trumps what you said today because that's already standing lore that's recorded and I can pull a VOD for it. So I don't know.
I think what you're saying has some merit, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I have to do an audio reading of Pride and Prejudice. Is The Grapes of Wrath the same as Pride and Prejudice? That's a different book. I'm thinking of a different book.
You know what grapes of wrath are though when I think of them?
Frozen?
Hemorrhoids.
True.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Hemorrhoids are the grapes of wrath.